Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
How y'all doing? Everybody all right?
Yes.
All right. Well, first, obviously, we always give praise to the Most High God, Yahweh. Bahashem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai. My name is Yarapah. I'm here. We are here at the House of David, located 191 Howard Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. Again, that is 191 Howard Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. I will be presiding over today's second service. And I'm just gonna get right into it because things are getting weird in Israel. Things are definitely getting weird in Israel. But you know what? This is what happens when the Most High, when the Most High has to make changes. The Most High has to make changes in Israel because of our wickedness. Okay. These are the things that must happen because of our wickedness. So the Most High is manifesting and revealing certain things in Israel that are happening, and it's for our edification, those who hold on to the truth. So today's topic is called Doctrines That Do Not Die. Okay, doctrines that do not die, because y'all clearly seen recently there's been new doctrines popping up in and out of. It seems like they're coming out of the woodworks from people that we've seemingly used to hold in esteem and in high honor. Now they're coming up with doctrines that are just like, where did that come from? What are y'all talking about? What are you doing? Okay. And the problem with these things is that these new doctrines that pop up is that it's one thing if you want to revisit something that we've been taught a long time ago, because now new knowledge has come out, and we might have to revisit some of the things that we learned from the past, so that way we can grow as a people, right? But it's another thing entirely when you start creating doctrines out of your own mind because you want to be the head Negro in charge, because you want to be the ultimate. You know what I mean? So that's usually what it boils down to. These brothers who come up with new ideas and new doctrines and new philosophies, they want power, and they think that by shaking the foundation of what we believe, then that's how they get it, instead of just waiting for the Most High and Yahushua to give them the crown that they work for. So we're gonna jump into the scriptures about why are these things happening, and what are we supposed to do about it as teachers and as brothers and sisters who believe what we are taught, all right, who understand the scriptures, all right. So we're going to open up with we're actually going to change that. We're going to open up with Romans chapter 15 verse 4, because these things don't pop up out of nowhere, but this is one of the issues that plagues us as a people. Go ahead.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Right. It says whatever was written aforetime was written for our learning. Why do we record history? So that way we can learn from it, right? That's why the history books are written, so that way we can learn from it. The past affects the present, and the present affects the future. In the future, they're going to read about the things that we are doing today, and they're going to say, oh, well, you know what? I see why this happened. Let's not repeat the same mistakes. Con?
Con.
All right. Read on.
That we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
Right. So through the patience and the comfort of the scriptures, we'll have hope. When we read this Bible, we're supposed to be hopeful for the things to come. Why? Because we learn from our ancestors' mistakes, or so we're supposed to. We're supposed to read the things that happened to our forefathers and our foremothers and say, you know what? We should not be like them. And in fact, the Bible tells us, listen, don't be like your forefathers. Don't be hard-headed, right? So why are we today reading what happened to our forefathers and repeating a lot of the same mistakes? Because coming up with new doctrines is not a new thing, right? We're going to read about that in the New Testament, how just doctrines just started to pop up out of nowhere, and they started to stray away from the things that Paul taught them. Con?
Con.
All right. So from there, I want you to go to 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. Because Paul warned Timothy that these things would happen. Okay.
This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 4 and verse 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly.
Right. It said the Spirit speaketh expressly. What's the Spirit? The Holy Spirit, right? The Holy Spirit speaketh expressly, meaning plainly and openly, right? Nothing that we don't have to figure out, right? He said the Spirit speaketh expressly. It's like it's a widely known thing, okay? It's a blatant forefront truth, right? That what would happen?
That in the latter times.
The latter times, right? Now we understand that according to, where's that scripture? I think it's in first, maybe Second Peter, where he said little children is the last times, or I think it's 3rd John. It is the last times. Hold on. I believe it's in 3rd John. Oh, 1 John 2:18. Hold that, get that real fast. 1 John 2:18, yeah.
2 and 18.
Con.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 18.
Right. It says 1 John chapter 2 and 18. Go ahead.
Little children, it is the last time.
Right. It is the last time. We are in the end stage. Okay. We are in the last age of the old world, so to speak. All right. Remember, it says Esau is the end of the world, right? At the time, who was ruling when John wrote this?
Esau.
Esau was ruling, and he's been ruling ever since, right? So we understand that Esau is the end of the world, so therefore we are in the last days, right? Read on.
And as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come.
Right, he said that the Antichrist will come. You heard that in the last days, the Antichrist will come. Go ahead.
Even now are there many Antichrists.
See, he said right now in the world, in the earth, there are many Antichrists, meaning what? There were brothers and sisters who were coming up with new doctrines, okay, teaching contrary to what Christ taught and what the apostles taught, what Paul taught, and even John himself sings. They were contradicting what they were reading and what they were learning beforehand. So he said there are many contradictions and many antichrists in the earth right now. We were taught that the Antichrist will come, but guess what? They're here already. Right? Go ahead.
Whereby we know that it is the last time.
See, that's how we know we're in the last times, because many antichrists and new doctrines are in the earth right now, and there's more to come. Okay, especially in today, right? Read verse 19.
Verse 19. They went out from us, but they were not of us.
Right. It said they went out from us, but they were not of us, meaning they didn't roll with us, right? They were not rolling with us, but they heard what we taught and ran with it. Okay, they were not part of the original 12. They were not part of the groups that they established, but yet they learned the gospel and ran with it and started to develop new doctrines. God? All right, read on.
For if they had been of us.
Right, he said if they had been with us, if they had been rolling with us, they were part of our group, they were part of our faction. If they had been part of the circle, right? Go ahead.
They would no doubt have continued with us.
See, he said, look, if they had stuck with us, they would have stayed with us. If they were with us, they would have stayed with us. All right, read on.
But they went out that they might be made manifest.
That they might be made manifest, right? Go ahead.
That they were not all of us.
See, and they went out because so that the way the Most High can show the rest of us that no, they're false teachers. Don't follow them. That is exactly why that they were not part of the group. So that way they can be shown plainly to the world that no, these brothers and sisters, no, they're not part of us. They're not like us. They're not from this. They're not cut from this cloth. All right. So go back to 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy 4:1 again, please.
This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 4 and verse 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith.
See, there you go. He said it's plain as day. Look, some of us are going to fall away, quote unquote. I use that term loosely because I don't believe in falling out of the truth. No, brothers and sisters make the deliberate decision to walk away. I don't believe in that falling out, because If you fall out, that means something happened to you that prevented you from doing this full time. A lot of y'all are able-bodied and just say, you know what, I don't like this anymore, and walk away and do something else.
Right.
Con.
Read that again, please.
Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith.
Right. He said depart from the faith, meaning they're going to leave. They're going to get up and walk away from the faith, from the true teaching. They literally get up and decide, I don't want to do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This is not for me. Or those brothers at that church or that congregation, that camp, they hurt my feelings. So you know what? I ain't with them no more.
Con.
Or I got counsel from the elders and I decided I didn't like the counsel that I got, so I'm going to do my own thing. That's what he's talking about. They depart from faith. They literally got up and walked away. Right? Read on.
Giving heed to seducing spirits.
See, somebody got in their ear, right? Somebody said something to them that they liked, that was sweet to their ears, instead of the sound doctrine that they were taught. Right? Go ahead.
And doctrines of devils.
There you go. Right on cue. Doctrines of devils, meaning lies, false teachings, teachings that deceive the people, that trick the people into departing from the faith. And that's how it happens, because it starts with one little thing, and then the next thing you know, that doctrine springs up, and it becomes a big teaching, and then next thing you know, the person who came up with the teaching decided, you know what, I'm not feeling this no more. Right? Or they buck up against the established teaching and say, no, it's like this. And when the elders say, no, brother, we're not following that. That's not true. And here's the scriptures to prove it. Then they want to go back and forth. Oh, y'all wrong. You know what? I'm leaving. And then they take people with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Con.
That's how that happens. It's the same process every time. One brother starts getting too big-headed. You know what I mean? Starts to study the scriptures just a little too deeply. You know what I'm saying? Instead of staying with the foundation of what they were taught, which is what? What's the foundation of our teaching, of our faith?
Laws.
The laws, exactly. Instead of sticking with the commandments, right? And the faith of Yahushua, right? Instead of sticking with those two things, they start looking into all these other things that are too big for them. And then they bring it and start teaching it on their own. And then when they get corrected, they say, no, I don't want to know. I want to teach this. I want to believe this. And when they get either get put out or they just don't take the correction anymore, they say, you know what? I'm going to go on my own. I'm going to do my own thing and I'm going to teach this the way that I want to teach it. Instead of building upon the foundation, what they did while they were, let's just say here, for example, instead of doing that, they go off and do something else and lead other people to astray. Go ahead.
I think Christ said it even better. He said, there's no other foundation than man has laid except this. I'm paraphrasing it. I don't know if you remember that scripture.
If you can find it, then we can talk about it. But for now, we're going to continue with verse 2.
Okay. Verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking lies in hypocrisy.
Speaking lies in hypocrisy. So they were not only were they teaching lies, but they were not even practicing what they believe. How do you teach a false doctrine and then not practice it? You came up with the doctrine. You taught it. So practice it and stick with it to the very end. And then in the very end, you'll see how wrong you were. But then for you to not do that, not only speak the lie, but then speak in hypocrisy, meaning you're not practicing what you preach. How can we respect you as a leader or as a teacher? How? How is that possible? Yahweh, can you explain that to me? No. No. Caleb, can you speak that? Can you, Uncle Mike? No. Okay. Can anybody make sense of that? You speak lies. You come up with a false doctrine. You teach it, and then you don't live it either. How does that make sense? But clearly, we were warned that these things would happen. Okay, read on.
Having their conscience snared with an hot iron.
See, and they're convinced that this is the truth, that whatever doctrine they came up with was the truth. You understand? And he's going to give a perfect example. Read verse 3.
Verse 3. Forbidden to marry.
Now, who does that? Who forbids their priests and their leaders to get married?
The Catholic doctrine.
There you go. That's Catholic dogma. Where in the scriptures does it say that the priest can't get married?
Never said that.
They can get married, but they have particular
One wife.
Huh?
One wife.
One wife. And if you were the high priest, guess what? You have to marry a specific kind of woman too. You had to marry, number one, you had to marry a woman from another nation, no, from this nation, Slovakia. Ooh, that was no. You had to marry an Israelite woman, and she had to be a what? And she had to be a virgin. The high priest could not just marry any old woman from our nation. He had to marry a virgin. Okay. So where does the Catholic Church come up with the doctrine that, oh, you can't get married at all if you're going to be a priest?
Right.
See, go ahead, brother.
And also, it has to be a woman that the Most High choose for you.
Exactly.
Because that's why when the scripture says that in the Apocrypha, got a chapter and verse, but it says, choose, get a woman, the Most High choose for you because he's going to be, basically bring forth some great books coming out of that seed that's coming in.
Oh yeah, if you see a fruit within, I think it says if you see a fruitful possession, sow with your own seed or something like that. See.
Most also says this. He said the great workings that when he's ready to bring Elijah or one of these great spirits, he will use a man and woman that's clean, uncorrupted, and so this is why and the sex was really for to procreate. Procreation. So when you do that, then Most High can allow something clean to come in and manifest itself.
And that's why Yahushai's parents were who they were too. He didn't just pick two any old people from whatever family. He specifically chose Joseph and Mary. For that particular reason. He wanted to bring forth his son into the earth, so he had to pick good parents. Because remember, the scripture says that Joseph was a just man. He wasn't no ordinary Negro that was running the streets. He was a man of principle. He comes from a royal lineage, right? Being a son of David.
And he was a king.
And he was So Joseph and Mary had to be specifically chosen by the Most High to bring forth Yahushai. All right? Go ahead, read on, brother.
Verse 3, forbidden to marry and commanding to abstain from meats,
right,
which the power had created to receive with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth.
Right, because back then there was a doctrine that popped up that says we could not eat foods that were sacrificed to idols, right? So there was a teaching that said, no, you can't eat meat at all because all of these meats have been offered up to those Greek gods or whatever have you. But the scripture says, if you ever read Romans 14 and 1 Corinthians 12, it goes into that, where he said, look, the idol is nothing. Okay. If the meat is if it's an animal that the Most High ordained us, that he said we can eat, it don't matter if it was sacrificed on the idol or not. That idol is nothing. So therefore we can eat it. It's a clean animal. You just can't eat any old thing. But we have the understanding that idol is nothing. So just because it was offered it to it, like I'll give you a perfect example. How many brothers and sisters like to eat halal food? Right? Halal food, y'all know what makes it halal? It was offered up to Allah. That's what makes it. Is Allah a real God?
No.
There you go. So if we eating lamb and chicken over rice, who cares if it was offered up to Allah? It's clean to eat. We pray over it and say, like, Most High bless this food, make it fit for my body, right? Provided me with nourishment and everything in between. However, because they didn't understand that at the time, that's when Paul said, okay, look, if it causes your brother and sister to err, that's right. That's when you say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to eat it.
Yeah.
If they don't understand that, okay, cool, I'm not going to eat it. But to eat it itself, they were forbidding brothers and sisters to basically be vegans. To say, hey, look, those animals, those livestock, those lamb and those chickens and those cows, they were offered up to Zeus and Dionysius and all these other Greek foreign gods. So therefore, we can't eat them at all. Why? Because they misunderstood what happened in Daniel. Remember, Daniel abstained from those Babylonian foods just because he wanted his conscience to stay on the Most High. So he ate fruits and vegetables. He didn't even drink their wine. So does that mean that we can't drink wine now? So you see how they don't, their lack of understanding, their error in their ways.
Mhm.
In fact, get that real fast. Where is that? Where? You do err not knowing the scriptures? No, Yahushua said that. Matthew 24:22. Let's get that really quickly. No, not 24:22.
No, not that.
It's when the scribes and Pharisees said it's in. You said 22 and 29?
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22 and verse 29.
Mm-hmm.
Yahushua answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures,
Mm-hmm.
nor the power of the power.
Right. He said, now remember, they had asked him, like, if a man had died, right? And she had gotten married, but her husband died and she married someone else, and that man died, and so on and so forth. In the resurrection, whose wife shall she be? And he was like, he just looked at him and go, you stupid. Like, y'all are dumb, asking this dumbass question. Ye do err not knowing the scriptures. Because you don't know the scriptures, you're gonna make a mistake, a dumb mistake like this, by asking whose wife shall she be in the resurrection. And then he says, in the resurrection, there is no marriage and giving in marriage. She's gonna be like the angels. But because y'all don't know the scriptures, you're gonna make a mistake like that. Because you brothers and sisters don't know the scriptures, you're gonna come up with new doctrines and new beliefs. Okay? Let's go back to 1 Timothy. I didn't even get halfway through that verse. All right. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we can stop there. Verse 3 was enough. But he gave an example of a couple of doctrines that had popped up out of nowhere, forbidding to marry and having to abstain from eating certain meats that the Most High gave us to eat. Right? And y'all saw how quickly it happened, because Paul was not long after Yahushua. It wasn't that long. Right? So get me 2 Timothy, just go to the next book, chapter 3 and verse 1.
2 Timothy, chapter
3
and 1.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 1. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come.
See? So there you go with the last days. That's how you know we're in the last days. It's that perilous times shall come. It's going to be tumultuous times, right? And we're in those days as we speak. All right, read on.
For man shall be lovers of their own
So
selves.
we're going to have a high dose of narcissism, right? Narcissism is rampant in the earth today, right? Read on.
Covetous.
Covetousness, meaning they want things that belong to other people, right? Whether it be money, property, a man's wife, right? I want things that belong to you, right? Read on.
Boasters.
But we have pride is at an all-time high, right? Read on.
Proud.
See, again, go ahead.
Blasphemers.
Now there it is. Blasphemers, lies, big, great lies. Blasphemies. What are some blasphemies that are in the earth today?
That Jesus Christ is white.
There you go. That's number one. That's number one. Not just Christ himself, but God and all the angels, right? That they're white, that they came to save everybody, that God loves everybody. These are blasphemies.
Mm-hmm.
That the devil is black. Oh, one of the biggest blasphemies. Y'all know what the Mormon church teaches about us.
Mm-hmm.
That black
we
skin is a curse from the Most High. That is major blasphemy.
Major.
And we just let them get away with it too. To this day, nobody has silenced them. That lie, that blasphemy is continuously in the earth. What's another major blasphemy? It's right there in front of y'all. We said it. Yahushua and the angels and God are white. Who else is white?
That Esau is white. He's not white.
Esau's red, but
right.
But Yahweh, you just said it. There you go. That the real Jews are white too. I was like, that is a huge blasphemy. Major blasphemy. right?
God.
Another blasphemy is that God loves gay people, that God is okay with it, that he made a mistake of the alphabet people, that God still loves them. No, God said he hates that thing. He despises it. It's an abomination to him.
Even the food.
The food, yeah. All the thing that we can eat, whatever the dietary laws are done away with, blasphemies. Right? All these blasphemies are in the earth. Why? Because somebody, they did err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of the Most High. They came up with these doctrines, and then because they didn't know the scriptures, they were seduced by evil spirits and came up with new doctrines. That's what happens. Okay, read on.
Disobedient to parents.
Do I even got to go any further than that? Do we have to really explain how children are disobedient to their parents now? All right, read on.
Unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers.
Oh, truce breakers mean people who go back on their word, right? Read on.
False accusers.
Liars, right? People who falsely accuse. And we know that the so-called black men, we get accused of all kinds of evil falsely, right? Whether whether the police get involved, right? We get beat up we're victims of police brutality, right? Or if we are falsely accused by a woman of you know what, right? We get falsely accused of stealing, of murdering people. We get false accusations laid against us all the time, right? Read on.
False accusers, incontinent, fierce.
Wait, do y'all know what incontinent means? Anybody know what incontinent means? Basically, incontinence, right? Loss of bladder control, right? Or people who can't control themselves. People who have no, like, whatchamacallit. Hold on one second.
I think they call that the peristalsis something, where you have no control over yourself.
Lacking self-restraint.
Right.
Okay. People who can't control their urges, their lusts, right? People who can't control themselves. That's what incontinent means. Read on.
Despiser of those that are good.
Right, and that's what they do to us. They despise us. We try to teach them the ways of the Most High. What do they say? Oh, you guys are teaching hate and everything in between, right? Read on.
Traitors.
Self-explanatory. Go ahead.
Heady.
Heady. You know what heady means? They proudful, boastful, right? Heady. And well, hold on. Having a strong, exhilarating effect. Yep. Go ahead.
High-minded.
High-minded. People who think too highly of themselves or think that they're the smartest person in the room, right? Think that nobody can tell them nothing, right? Go ahead.
Lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High.
See, there you go. Self-explanatory. Go ahead, read on.
Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away.
So he said having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. What does that mean?
They're going around saying that I love Jesus, Jesus, and they don't follow no commandments.
There you go. Right on cue. People who say that they love the Most High, they love Christ, they love, this, that, and the third. They try to follow a particular religion, but they don't hold true to what it is. Because they don't know the scriptures. Read on.
Verse 6.
Real fast. He said, from such turn away. Don't deal with those kinds of people. Ignore those people. Reject those people. Okay? Go ahead.
For of this sort are they which creep into houses and led captive silly women laden with sins.
Right. And the women are usually the first victims of these things.
They fill up churches. All you see is women.
Yeah. The women are the first victims. Why? Because I hate to say it this way. I hope, nobody takes it the wrong way, but you can easily deceive a woman. Women get deceived all the time. That's why Satan went after Eve. Because she was the easy one to deceive.
The weaker vessel.
The weaker vessel. The emotional driven one. And that's what these brothers do. They come up with these new doctrines so that way they seem powerful, right? They seem almighty and smart. Oh, the Most High is dealing with this brother. He has charisma and this, that, and the third. And then you, and next thing you know, well, the brothers or men in particular, we can look at him and go, oh, this dude's faking the funk. This dude, you see it all the time on social media, especially like with these male influencers. You know who's the biggest one of them all? Y'all remember that brother? What's his name? Dark skinned brother, Derek Jackson. Y'all remember him? He was the one who was sitting in his car and talking about all these ways that, you know, men have to do this, men got to do that, and all just pandering to women. And the next thing you know, this brother was cheating on his wife the entire time. And it was women. Women were his main audience, especially black women, right? They were his main audience, and they were all soaking up everything that this brother was saying. Oh, men have to do this. If a man does this, he doesn't like you. If a man does this, if a man serves you, he loves you. The only way you could tell if a man loves you is if he basically serves you at every whim, right? And then turn around, and this brother got like 4 or 5 women on the side, and he's supposed to be this Christian man, and he's in this Christian marriage with his wife. And next thing you know, these other women came out and exposed him for his false dealings. But the entire time, all of us men were just like, yo, this brother's faking the funk. Y'all can't see this? Y'all really can't see that this brother is lying to you by pandering to you? And when we say these things, the women were just like, oh, you guys are just haters because he called y'all out. And it's just like, no, he's lying. We can tell he's lying. He's not true. He's not holding to what he's believed. He's speaking lies and hypocrisy. He's not practicing what he's preaching. Go ahead, brother.
And this goes into even us as men too, where a woman can spot another female just like that, just like how we can spot a male doing the same thing.
Absolutely. And it's no different here in the Bible. You had all these brothers who were coming up with new doctrines because they wanted to be next in line. They wanted to be first command under Yahushua. And they came up with all these new doctrines. And then everybody was just like, well, those sensible ones were like, y'all don't hear how foolish this sounds? And everybody's just like, nah, the Spirit's working with him. The Spirit's working with that brother. No, it's not. It's really not. And look, I'm going to show you through the scriptures how it's not. And yet the doctrine still persists. We can go through Revelation 1:14 a million times in one and show you, and Daniel 10:5 to show you Yahushua was a dark-skinned man. He had white woolly hair. Who is this white boy that y'all keep worshiping? That's not him.
And you know what's crazy about that? These people, we're talking about people that can read and write.
Yes.
And who are educated enough that when you read this, you can say, hey, this doesn't fit this description.
At all.
At all. So you got to understand that this is clearly false. Like, who have bewitched you?
Right. We're going to get into that. We're going to go there. Because like, how do you get deceived like that? Because you do err not knowing the scriptures. You don't know. You haven't read enough. You haven't solidified yourself with what is being taught. The true teaching. Okay? Where do we leave off? Did we finish verse 6?
The bottom of verse 6.
Okay, go ahead, read on.
Led away with diverse lusts.
See, led away with diverse, because you haven't cleansed yourself of all those lusts that you have, it's easy for you to get caught up in those lusts. And these false teachers expose that. These brothers who come up with new doctrines expose that. I'm gonna give y'all a perfect example. You're all older than me. Y'all know who the 5%ers are.
Yeah.
Right? The nations of gods and earth. Y'all know how it started? Okay, y'all. Thank you. It's an offshoot from the Nation of Islam. That's it. This brother, Clarence 13X was his name.
Yeah.
Did not think that Farid Muhammad, who started the nation of Farid Muhammad or something, whatever his name was, Farad, rest. Yeah, a white boy, right? He didn't believe that he was a messenger of Allah, right? And if you really think about it, right? If y'all see how the members of the Nation of Islam dress, they dress just like Farid Muhammad or whatever his name was, with the bow tie, the slick back hair, they're clean shaven. They're the same spirit.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I have a lot of respect for the Nation of Islam because they have turned the lives around of many of our people and kept them. Yes. Okay. Minister Farrakhan is still at 90 something years old, like teaching and whatnot. So I will show great respect to them. But look, they were false teachings.
Exactly.
And because of that, another false teaching came up. Why? Because it sounded good to them.
Right.
What do they teach? What does the 5% nation teach?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And doesn't that sound good to the average black man?
Mm-hmm.
You're not a nigga, you a God. You are God. God is in you. And the woman's the earth.
At least 5%.
Mhm.
At least 5. They teach. So the way that it breaks down is they say that 85% of the nation of the world is deceived and enslaved, right? 10% of the nation, 10% of the world is the ruling powers, right? Who enslave the 85%, right? And the remaining 5% are those who know who they are and they're truly free and that they're gods on the earth, right? But the 10% that enslaves the 80%, the 85% know who the 5% are. So that's how you get the 5% nation.
It's
or
one
whatever.
of the dumbest religion I've ever come across.
It honestly, I agree with you because okay, you're free and you know who you are and this, that, and the third. Okay, so stop paying taxes. Tell Esau you're not paying taxes no more. We're gonna see how free you really are, Negro. You want to travel without a passport? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Do what you. Go ahead. Show me how free you are.
Even according to their mathematics, like the stuff them that you learn, it doesn't even make sense. You got to know how far the sun is from the moon and the earth is from the sun.
Now, what does that have to do with anything? What does it have to do with anything? What purpose does the sun? You do err, not knowing the scriptures. What is the purpose of the sun and the moon?
To give light.
That's it.
One to rule the day, one to rule the night.
That is it. What does the position of the sun tell us? Where it is in the sky? What does it tell us?
Noon.
What time of the day it is?
Morning.
If it's
night.
in the morning, if it's rising in the eve, that means it's morning. If it's directly over us, that means it's high noon. If it's setting, if it's in the west, that means it's setting. The day's ending.
Mm-hmm.
What does the phase of the moon tell us?
The month.
What time of the month we're in?
Mm-hmm.
That's all it. What else does it mean? Why do I need to know how far one is from the other? What does that matter?
Well, how many miles it is to the moon?
What does that matter?
Make no sense.
It's stupidity because to me, when they say they know the mathematics of the day, they be saying that the mathematics of the day is a pig. Seven said nothing, it's just a lie. I said, yeah.
Come on, like what? Making
That's all it is. It's makeup.
Especially the Yakub story.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
That was,
You want to explain it on the mic?
he was made out of by scientists.
Oh yes, okay. The mad scientist theory. Okay, yes.
Mad scientist theory.
See
That's how the white man came.
that the white man was made in a lab.
Yeah.
I've heard that. Yes, I've heard that before. I didn't know it was the Yakub story.
Scientists are creating those tools.
That's what they say.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Doctrines of devils.
Yes.
And our people get caught. We talk about New York and we talk about hip hop. A lot of 90s hip hop artists were into that thing. Remember we were talking about before, like Busta Rhymes and the Wu-Tang Clan and Tribe Called Quest, Brand Nubian. They all got caught up in that stuff. And now they talking lunacy.
Because a lot of that is built up in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Where most of us are. And they get that doctrine in there or else.
And you know what else? You know what also is? Hold on, I'm going to get to your second. But they're also looking for an alternative to Christianity. That's what it was. A lot of them were, they were looking for an alternative to Christianity because they believe that Christianity is a white man's religion, not realizing that Christianity, the true form of Christianity, came from the Hebrews, and it was in Africa before Christianity even popped up.
So it shows that they're not reading the Bible.
They do err not knowing the scriptures.
They're not reading the Bible at all.
All of their knowledge is in vain because the Most High said, know this, knowing what the will of the Most High is. That's the real knowledge.
That's the real knowledge. What's the will of the Father? Go ahead, Caleb.
Yeah, what I wanted to say about that too was like if you didn't know those things about what you're supposed to know or learn, they would beat you up not knowing these things.
Exactly.
So that's another part that I didn't understand about it. Like, why you need to beat up the person? What happened if they have a learning disability? I mean, come on. So it was just plain stupid to me.
All of it's all madness.
But
Yeah.
you know, they used to tell us that. Remember when Lot was taken from Sodom and Gomorrah, and one ran and told the Hebrew, meaning Abraham, and he was saying that with that, the Most High had done away with Israel and removed them out of His sight. I don't know how to put the two.
Israel
together,
wasn't born yet.
but that's one of the doctrines that they were coming.
Yeah, that they didn't know what they're
How?
talking
Israel
about.
wasn't even born yet.
Look at these guys. What are you reading, man?
You see this is what I'm talking about. Doctrines that won't die. Nobody has silenced these things yet. Right? Ugh. Where do we leave off, Caleb?
We had verse 7.
Oh, okay, we can drop that. Go to Second Peter.
Can we just read that?
Verse 7?
Yeah,
okay,
verse 7.
yeah. Actually, I did have that written. Okay, read that. I'm sorry.
Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth.
There you go. That's exactly how these things happen. They always want to learning, but for some reason they just can't get it. And you know why? It's because the Most High doesn't want them to. There are a lot of brothers and sisters, especially in Israel, right, who can never become teachers, no matter how much they study. And they should not become teachers because, no, I'm serious. Listen to me when I'm saying this. No matter how much you study, no matter how well you know the scriptures, you will never teach. Some of them will never teach because if they get up here and get on this podium, they're either going to teach false or they're going to go scorched earth, meaning hit people over the head with the Bible. And you can't do that. We cannot hit people over the head with the Bible. It does not work. Oh, I thought you had something. No, you can't do that. Okay? Go ahead, Caleb.
That's why we have the gifts of the Holy Spirit. Because when we have, not everyone can be a teacher, and not everyone can be a whatever. There's different offices.
Now, you can know the scriptures. You should know the scriptures.
Right.
Now, remember, Paul did say, covet the gift of prophecy. Want to teach, be apt to teach, desire to teach this word. But he also understood everybody can't do it. You should want to teach, but you may not be able to.
Might not be your calling.
It might not be your calling, and that's okay. It's perfectly fine. Maybe your office is okay. You understand, you know the scriptures about the Passover, right? Now, it may not be your office to teach the Passover, but you know what? You can organize the venue. You can organize the coming together of the correspondence of different schools who may want to come together and keep it. Or you might know a farmer that can sell you a lamb.
Right.
You may not be able to teach the Passover, but guess what? You're still involved, and that might be your calling.
Right.
And that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Go ahead, Khaled.
I'd be satisfied with just being a doorkeeper.
Just being there.
Like David said.
I'll be a doorkeeper.
A doorkeeper in the house of the Most High.
I'll scrub toilets if I have to.
Remember, David always put the Most High first. He didn't make a move unless he asked the Most High. Except
that one time. Or that couple times, right? But this is what happens. Because you do err not knowing the scriptures.
Right.
Okay? And because you always want to keep learning, you want to remember Ecclesiastes, it says that there's books of making, there's no end.
Right.
There's a book on everything now. There you go. And all knowledge is not good knowledge. Just because you know something doesn't mean it's good for you. Right? The scriptures say that knowledge of sin is not wisdom. So what's the point of learning all this extra stuff? Why? So you can be the head nigga in charge. That's all it is.
Yeah.
All right. Jump to 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. 2 Peter. I think I'm gonna go. I think I have that. 2 Peter 3 and 7.
2 Peter 2 and verse 1.
Yes, right there.
This is the book of 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 1. But there were false prophets among the people.
Right. We're talking about back then. Go ahead.
Even as there shall be false teachers among you.
There you go. So we were constantly being warned that there will be false teachers among us, people who come up with new doctrines that are contrary to the principal doctrine, to the truth. All right, read on.
Who privily shall bring in damnable heresies.
Oh, now we talk about that. Who privately bring in damnable heresies. Y'all know how that happens? First of all, what is a heresy?
Things that is not true. That's all. It's
Worshipping a false god.
Speaking a false witness.
So a heresy, okay, first of all, who knows the difference between a heresy and blasphemy? They're in the same vein, but there's a distinction between them.
Heresy, well, blasphemy is lies. Heresy is like doing the lie, pretty much. I don't know.
No, not exactly. You're on the right track, but no. So blasphemy, right? We know that it's like a lie. Like you said, it's especially a great big lie.
A gross lie.
A gross lie. Like the ones we went over earlier, like God being white, Christ being white, the Israelites being white, God loves all nations, blah, blah. Those are blasphemies, right? What's a heresy, though?
Heresy is like, somebody heard something and they say that it's a person hear it and they come with it, but then you have a spin that is not exactly the same, but it's heresy.
It's teaching the wrong doctrine.
It's like you may tell me something, and then I go and tell another brother, and then the brother says, he said that. And you will say, no, but that's not how I said it.
Close enough. Close. So a heresy is a teaching that contradicts what is already being taught, what we're experiencing today. Okay? There's been an established doctrine, and then someone comes up with a new doctrine, especially on the low, and say, look, we were supposed to keep the lunar Sabbath, brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
The lunar Sabbath determines our week. Was who?
Heretic. Word.
The heresy. Well, heretic, right? A heretic is someone who practices heresies, right?
Yeah.
A heretic is someone who chooses to lie, to make up these new doctrines and go against the established teaching. That's what a heresy is.
Right.
So you see, like I said, it's kind of in the same vein because it's a lie nonetheless.
Right.
But there's a difference between them. Go ahead.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's heresy is the act of holding beliefs that contradict established doctrines, especially religious ones.
There you go.
It can also refer to dissenting opinion or practices in other contexts.
There you go. So there's an established teaching in the Israelite community that either the dark moon or the first light, right, establishes the new moon. Now a doctrine pops up that the Sabbath is based on the moon cycle, that the new moon is the first day of the month and the first day of the week, and that our Sabbaths are determined by the moon.
I'm going through that right now with one of my
heresies.
people.
Yeah. It's a doctrine that will not die, no matter how many times somebody comes up and says, "Look, according to the scriptures, we never determine our Sabbaths based off the moon. Never. We've never done it. You don't even read that in history, whether it be our people or Amalek, who took all of our customs and practices them better than we do. They don't even do that, right? So how in the world do you come up with the lunar Sabbath doctrine? How? How? How did the Most High tell time before the sun and the moon were created?
Wow.
Ask them that. What did he do on the first, second, and third day? How did he know what the days were?
Where do you get to? Where do you get to doctor?
I don't know.
No, I mean,
I'm saying, where did they get it from? I have no idea. Seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. So if they wanted to sound wise and smart, so they say, you know what? I'm gonna come up with something else.
Can I read it?
Go ahead.
It says, but in countries where there is an established church,
Mm-hmm.
an opinion is deemed heresy when it differs from that of the church.
There you go.
The scriptures being the standard of faith, any opinion that is repugnant to its doctrine is heresy.
See? But you know what the key element there was? It said the scriptures being the standard. If it contradicts the scriptures,
Right.
The standard
the
scripture.
standard, it is a heresy.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. Where did you get the doctrine?
Where did you get it from?
Yeah, where did you get that information from?
They do err not knowing this. They don't know it. Knowledge is supposed to be power, right? But if you don't know it, then you're powerless.
Con.
Because they're not reading.
They're not reading it. Because they don't know the scriptures and they haven't solidified themselves in it. That's why they get caught up in every wind of doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that part of Isaiah's prophecy that they have ears and can't hear and eyes and can't see.
Con.
Yeah, and what we just read in
Pour out the spirit of deep sleep.
right, and what we just read in Second Timothy. No matter how much you study, you can't come to the knowledge of the truth. You're not solidified in it. You don't believe what you're reading. So you want to come up with things that help you believe what you want to believe.
Right.
Make sense?
Con.
Y'all seeing this, right?
Con.
All right, let's move on. Where do we leave off, Caleb?
We're still in verse 1.
Okay, please read on.
I'll read it from the top.
Mm-hmm.
But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you,
Mm-hmm.
who privily shall bring in damnable heresies,
Mm-hmm.
even denying the other one that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction.
And bring upon them, they have to die. They gotta go. We gotta stomp it out.
Mhm.
So denying the Most High.
That bought them.
Denying the scripture.
Denying the scriptures, then denying the word of the Father.
Right.
Because when you deny the
That's
scriptures,
standard.
that's the standard. The word is the standard. Okay, read on.
And many shall follow their pernicious ways.
Y'all know what pernicious means? Does anybody know what pernicious means? Harmful. It says having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual or subtle way. Meaning it starts out minimal, but it grows
Right.
and it puffs up. And that's what happens. These small little changes in the teaching come in, right? And then the heresy starts, and then it grows into a bigger and bigger, more gross, disgusting doctrine.
Mhm.
Okay? How the lunar Sabbath started, I don't know. But I guarantee you somebody just said something simple, right? Or just had maybe a small question that clicked in somebody else's head, and they started to go, let me study that. And they go, But because they're not rooted enough, they don't know.
Because this one dude said to me, well, when the months start, that's when you count 7 days to a Sabbath. And I'm like, well, what happened to the other, days of Sabbath? I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, brother. And we can provide a clear example in the scriptures where the month started in the middle of the week and the Sabbath came about 3 days later with David. When David ran to the synagogue and ate showbread on the Sabbath day, that was like 3 or 4 days after the new moon.
Mm-hmm.
And when does the showbread come out? The showbread only comes out during the Sabbath, right? The weekly Sabbath at that. So clearly it has only been 4 days in the month, but 7 days in the week. So how do you get a lunar Sabbath? How do you get the new moon determines the Sabbath? It's only been 4 days, but we're at the Sabbath day because he's eating the showbread. But no matter how many times you show them that, they still no. The moon determines our Sabbath. But all right, you know what? Your conscience has been seared with a hot iron. I can't say anything to you. But that doctrine won't die. It will not die. So what do we do about it then? Right?
Stomp it out.
We got to stomp it out. We have to teach against it. Okay? Read on.
By reason, verse 2, by reason of whom the way of trust shall be evil spoken of.
Right, the way of truth shall be evil. So now they come up against that old doctrine. So keeping with that lunar Sabbath doctrine, what do they say about those of us who keep the old ways? Oh, you guys part of that camp. Y'all see, y'all get confused by that camp doctrine, that one West doctrine. Y'all have heard that before, right?
Yeah, I've heard it.
You guys are deceived by that one West. That's why I don't deal with those camps. I learn on my own.
Oh, Lord.
Come out of that wicked camp. That's what one sister told me. She was like, come out of that wicked camp doctrine. I'm like, wicked camp doctrine?
You know, I realize that people like that, the only reason why they really come against that is because
they couldn't cut it in the camp.
They couldn't cut it. They can't cut the discipline. They can't cut the discipline. I mean, I got to keep the Sabbath. I can't go on Sunday. I can't go out on Friday.
No, you cannot.
And here's another thing too. I realized too, like, you could listen to different camps, but you got to be very knowledgeable to understand who really is about this life. Because you will find somebody that will set the course different for you. You know what I mean? So you got to be mindful of it at all times. You can't just follow every camp.
Nope.
Because what did it say about blowing in every wind?
Every wind of doctrine.
Every wind of doctrine, right? You know,
we're gonna get into that.
You can't follow every camp. You got to just be wise in who you want to follow.
Yeah. If they're not teaching the commandments, and they're not teaching Yahushua, and they're not teaching repentance, and if they're not teaching that, you know, that we are the chosen people of God, then don't even bother listening to them. Don't even bother. All right, because that's the foundation. The commandments, Yahushua, we are the children of Israel. That's the foundation of this belief. This belief, I should say. This belief. All right? Let's read on.
Verse 3. And through covetousness.
Through what?
Covetousness.
Because they want power. They're hungry for power. Right? And positions of authority that belong to other people. Right? Go ahead.
Shall they with feigned words.
Feigned words, right? Go ahead.
Make merchandise of you.
There you go. Now you're just merchandise. You're just
giving your tithes.
Give me your
Give me everything you got.
Give it all. And most importantly, they want your soul too.
Exactly.
They want your soul. All right, read on.
Whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not.
See, and swift destruction is coming for them. That's what he said. Swift destruction is coming for them. Jump to chapter 3, same book, chapter 3, verses 15 and 16.
This is the book of Second Peter, chapter 3 and verse 15. An account that the long suffering of our other one is salvation.
Right. The long suffering, the patience of the Most High and Yahushua is counted to us for salvation, because the more we're patient with ourselves and with Him, the Lord will be patient with us. Right. Read on.
Even as our beloved brother Paul also, according to the wisdom given unto him, had written unto you.
Right, because Paul said the same thing. You be patient with the Most High. The Most High is because the Most High is definitely patient. All right, He's been patient with Israel for the longest.
Yes.
He has been giving us time for the longest to get our act together. All right, read on.
As also in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood.
Right, because Paul's letters were hard to understand and hard to grasp with either. You mean we gotta wait We gotta wait for the Most High to come get us. I don't know if we can wait this long. And some of us are like that today. I don't know, man. Listen, Esau's getting on my nerves. I'm gonna need the Most High to wrap this thing up. Some of us are like that now, right? And it's not just so much that Paul's letters are difficult to understand, but it's just like you're asking us to do something incredibly hard to do. You're really testing our faith because you are asking us to be patient while they're killing us every single day. And it seems like, huh?
That's why you have to read the scriptures, because you understand why you're in this position.
You do err not knowing. There you go. There you go. We earned this. See, again, and that's the problem with our people. They don't know why they're in the condition that they're in, because they do what? They are not knowing the scriptures. They don't know why we're in this condition. So it's our job to tell them, hey, we are in this condition because we broke the laws of God. That's it. They don't get no more plain than that. We earned our position. You want to know why the white man is stomping you out every day?
Because we earned it.
We earned it. You want to know why he can arrest you and beat you up and nothing be done about it?
We earned
and get away with it. We earned that. You want to know why they stick us in the poorest areas and neighborhoods?
And gentrify us when
and
they're ready?
Gentrify us and then give us poor jobs and no money and this, that, and the third. We earned that. That's our fault. Okay? And that's what Paul was telling them. Look, we are in this position, but yet we have a strong belief that we're going to be delivered from this. So y'all wait patiently on the Most. Don't get out of pocket now. And they were just like, Dad, we really got to wait. Yes.
Yeah.
That's how you show your faith. Okay? And they could not understand that. They could not believe that. Like, damn. So then what was happening? Because the Most High hadn't showed up and delivered them yet, what was happening? No, that's a question. That's a serious question. What was happening? Because it took the Most High forever, quote unquote, to deliver us. What was happening? Thank you. They went off.
Like Saul did. He didn't wait for Samuel. He said, well, you didn't come.
I waited for you. And I feared the people. Same thing with Aaron and Moses.
Yeah.
You were gone for so long.
You know,
the people started to buck up against me, and I feared them. So I went off. That's what was happening in these churches, especially because Paul would be gone for so long at a time on his journeys. They would be like, well, Paul ain't coming back. I guess we're screwed up.
We got to solve this on our own.
Right. And how do we solve this? Oh, new doctrine.
Yeah. So we err by not knowing the scriptures.
You see that? You see how that happens? Through the Spirit, how that happens? That's why he said to Timothy, look, the Spirit speaketh expressly that a lot of times some are going to depart. Why? Because they're not patient enough. They're not faithful enough. So, and they do err not knowing the scriptures. So they come up with new doctrines and they depart from the faith. They get up, they walk away and say, you know what, this is taking too long. I want to live my life. I'm young. I got all this time ahead of me. Wow. Y'all see how this happens?
Yes,
it all makes sense now, right? Let's read on.
The bottom of verse 16.
Uh-huh.
Which they that were learned.
No. Read that correctly. Which they that are.
In which are some things hard to be understood. Which they that are learned, unlearned, and unstable. Rest.
See? Those that are unlearned, meaning ignorant, they do err. What? Not knowing the scriptures. And unstable, meaning they have not solidified themselves in this faith. They wrestle with it. It's hard for them to do this because they're unlearned and they're unstable. Because they don't know the scriptures and they can't deal with the fact that they gotta wait. So you know what? They fight against the system. They buck up against all this friction in Israel. It's popping up because we're still here. We've been in America how long now?
500.
Damn near 500 years, right? And we still here. Why are we still in Babylon? I'm getting tired of this. I can't deal with this no more.
I know my patience is getting thin.
Oh, brother. Why are we still here? If the Most High loves us and He wants to deliver us, why are we still here?
Mhm.
Not realizing what?
He's waiting on us.
Thank you, Caleb. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. That's the problem. We're the ones who are screwing it up.
Mhm.
The Most High got it all ready to go, locked and loaded.
The minute we do the right thing, boom,
it's all over.
Mhm.
Yes, it's in Revelation. Let's get that. Hold back. No, not even that. Hold back the winds of the earth and all that until the servants of God is sealing them. Get that for me, please. Where it's at? 7. 7 in what, Uncle Mike?
I think verse 3.
7 in. Yes, there we go. Go ahead. No, start at verse 2.
Verse 2. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 7 and verse 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east.
Right, from the east. Go ahead.
Having the seal of the living one. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea.
So guess what? There are angels right now, ready in position,
waiting
for go time.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting. And there was another angel that told him, yo, wait, hold up.
Don't do nothing yet.
Don't do nothing just yet. Hold on, wait a minute now.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all stay right where y'all are. Hold your position.
Hold your peace.
Hold your peace. Right, with the ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Go ahead.
Verse 3, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees.
So hold back the destruction. All them hurricanes and the tornadoes and the earthquakes and the tsunamis and the volcanic eruptions and this, that, and the third. Wait, just hold on a second. Hold it back.
Don't let it all out yet.
Don't listen. Until what?
Till we have sealed the servants of our other one in their forehead.
Until the servants of God are ready. Until that number is checked
sealed
off, until that last gate receipt, that last ticket is counted for, right? Until all of it's done, or until we get our act together, we still gonna be here. Because once we get, as we can see, once that number is sealed, it's go time. Most times waiting on us.
Can I go a little further?
Go ahead.
And I heard the number of them which were sealed. And they were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
So therefore, we realize the Most High is waiting on us.
There you go.
He's waiting for us to get our act together. That's it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Ezekiel 9:4 says, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem.
The midst of Jerusalem, of Israel.
And set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
There you go. So all your brothers and sisters who are wailing against the machine, who say, no, this is wickedness. We can't deal with this. This is evil. This is against the Most High. Waiting for that number, that specific number, to be marked off. Okay, that brother's got it. 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 And it's going to keep going and rolling and rolling and rolling until that number is sealed. Which is why it's important that we stomp these doctrines out, because it's delaying the process. It's delaying the process with all these new doctrines that come up and the idiots that follow them. Right? They're delaying the number of the servants of God's being sealed in the forehead. Hold on. Yeah, Yahweh.
One more. Ezekiel 3:9. It says, as an adamant harder than flint, have I made thy forehead.
See?
Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house.
He said, I made your head harder than flint. Flint is a hard stone. And he's saying, look, I've made you stronger than them. You can deal with their nonsense. You just have to teach them. Right? He's saying, look, don't be scared of them, because I've made you stronger than them. You strong in this word, guess what? You can come against anybody with this word and say, You know that's stupid, right? You know, before I get to you, Caleb, in Josephus, right? It says that Abraham was so smart and so wise that when he went into Egypt, he was able to converse with every Egyptian about their philosophies, about astronomy and mathematics and science and all that, and got everyone to listen to him.
Right. So he taught them.
He taught them.
Science.
He taught them how to do those things. He taught them that they didn't need to really write things on the wall because their writing system came because they couldn't remember the stories from the beginning of time. But we could. Y'all ever notice that the scriptures didn't really come to fruition until, in the written format until Moses.
Right.
But before that, we talked about it.
Right.
It was hand me down.
It was it was the stories from the beginning. That's why it's called the word or the oracles of God, because it was a spoken thing.
And it had a spiritual element behind it when that was being done.
You know, when in the early days before TV and radio, people used to sit down with their family and talk about the old days.
Yes.
And traditions.
Yes. And remember, the Levites had the task of what? They had to memorize the Torah. They had to memorize it. The stories of Moses and all the way back to the beginning. Who's a descendant of who? And how to keep records. They had to memorize those things. It wasn't no small task. That's why he chose them specifically and said, no, you guys are going to be my servants. They had a lot of... yes.
A whole lot on their plate.
Yes.
There was like ancient Google.
Yes, they was Google in ancient times. You could go to a priest and say, how old was Noah when the flood happened? 600 years old. They're supposed to know that right off the top of their head. Who's a descendant of? Who was Shem's first? Who we descendant of through Shem? Or Faxad? Okay.
Right.
How do we trace our lineage back to Abraham? Well, what tribe are you from? Oh, I'm from Judah. Okay. So your father was this, that, and third, all the way back to Judah. Judah was a son of Jacob, Jacob's fourth son through Isaac, and then Abraham was his father. They were supposed to remember all of that off the back of their hand.
The people, it wasn't being down like that. I mean, they were hashing them out with their family. As far as the deep knowledge like that,
yes. They would have to go to the Levites. I need to perform this sacrifice. Okay, cool. Bring me this, A, B, C, D. Come back in about 20 minutes. I'll have the altar prepared for you. Or they know by what type of animal they're bringing, or if they're bringing flour mixed with, mingled with oil or whatever have you, what type of sacrifice they're performing off the rip. They're supposed to know those things. That's why it's important that we snuff these doctrines out, because eventually they're going to start leaving. Pretty soon, I'm not calling it, but I'm telling y'all, there's going to be a doctrine about Passover that's going to flip everybody's minds. It's going to be something like, oh, you can eat this on a Passover. Did you know that? What do you mean? Oh, well, the scripture says you have supposed to eat this, that, and the third, but it don't say you can't eat this. Brother, really?
We can have a Passover in strip joint.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
Lord.
have mercy.
Oh, Lord.
That one takes the cake.
That was something else. That was something else, brother. Now look, I'm not gonna disparage our brother, because Ben already did that last week. Ben got in his ass. I know. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna follow up, because the brother's already going through enough. Right? Now, considering that particular situation, right? Here's where this is the only place where I would give the brother grace, right? This was during COVID, wasn't it? So there were not a lot of venues that were allowing, mass
People in that space.
Right. A lot of people in that space. Now, I still wouldn't have gone there anyway. I wouldn't have picked that place regardless. Because remember, we had Passover here that year in the school. right? Those of us who kept it at home kept it at home, but for the most part, it was done here. Okay, so he could have did that. Now, also, if doing dealings with the owner of the venue, the minute that he saw that the women were dressed scantily clad, he should have did was went to the managers and said, we can't have that. You know what I'm saying? Look, listen, these women are scantily clad. This is a religious ceremony. We can't have this. Now, if he didn't know that, that's one thing. But you can still correct and say, look, don't have the women serve. Have them do something else. We'll handle everything else. Or you say, look, or go ahead, Caleb.
You know, another thing too, while you're saying that, let me just tag along with that too, because I mean, in that time, in that space, there was a lot going on. You know, I'm wondering if that time they were like communication between the House of David and other people,
I'm sure there were.
You know, where you could have said, okay, we're having it here. You know, you could join us. You know, in that, you know what I'm saying? Something like that could have been done. More than to go to a strip club.
But the fact that if he'd have took the correction,
that's another thing.
It would have been, you know.
That's another thing. The brother didn't take the correction. Hold on. Yes, y'all. Go ahead.
I was in the nursing home.
Uh-huh.
What are you telling me? That somebody had a Passover in Playboy Bunny Club?
At a strip club, yes. About 4 or 5 years ago, yes. Yes. And that brother just came up with a new doctrine. That same brother who just came up with a new doctrine. I'm not gonna get, huh? You probably do know him.
Oh, I know him, but I don't know where he's
Yes, he's going through the ringer right now in Israel. He's going through the ringer. But touching that situation, you just have to practice wisdom. Okay, number one, why are you using that type of venue? Maybe, okay, if it was the only venue available, for the amount of people that he had, because I saw the video, there was a lot of brothers there. There were a lot of brothers there, right? That's one thing. That's one thing, exactly.
I didn't want to say it.
That's one thing. Absolutely.
I didn't want to say it.
No, it's true. They listen. You tell them, listen, this is where we holding the spot at. They do the research. They go, oh, that's what type of party it is. And those brothers who are unlearned and unstable, they're gonna wrestle with this. They're gonna be like, are we sure we should have a, you know what? It's a strip club. I'm gonna go. I'm with it. Those who haven't let go of those old ways, they're like, yeah, there's gonna be women there at the Passover. I can have lamb and women.
That's a great combination.
There you go. But making it clap. Yes. Listen, Yashabala, there's video on this thing. They were serving drinks and mingling with the brothers. It was wild times. You know what I mean? But the brothers who were learned and seasoned and been doing this thing for a long time should have looked at him and go, yo, bro, what are you doing?
I wouldn't have gone. I would have been like, hell no. You
what
can't mix evil with good. It just doesn't work.
You know what he probably would have said to you, and I'm not putting words in his mouth, but he probably would have said to you, oh, you're not going to keep the Passover? So you're just not going to keep the Passover then?
I'd have been like, yep, not here.
Not here, exactly. I'm not going here. That's what it was. The brother never took the correction. Nope. The elders tried to correct him. They said, look, just sit down for what they gave him a year. They told him to sit down for a dispensation of time. Whatever dispensation of time they told him, said, look, chill out. Don't stay off the internet. Just, fast, pray, repent, and you're gonna be good. We'll accept. We're not gonna disown you. Just, you made a mistake. It happens. You made a mistake. All right. But the brother, like you said, the brother never took the correction. And because of that, now he's coming up with new doctrines or following doctrines that were contrary to what he's been taught before. He don't want to be an Israelite no more. Well, first of all, we're an awakening. This is a nationality. We're coming back to our true nationality. First of all, you can't leave your nationality. Look, like I said, I don't want to disparage the brother, but that's what happens when you come up with new. They depart from the faith because it's not sticking. They were not solidified. Okay, that's how it happens. This is why I'm going over these things. That the doctrines that don't die, they force people to depart from the faith. Okay, and all we can do is pray for those type of brothers that they get their mind right, that they get their spirit right. Okay, because they're gonna leave so many people out of the way, and it's, like I said before, it's gonna delay the process of us getting out of here. We're gonna stay here until the number of the servants are sealed in their forehead. That's it. Until Israel repents, we're gonna stay here. Right? Y'all understand that, right? We're going to be stuck here in Babylon until the servants of God is sealed in their forehead. And these brothers that come up with new doctrines, hold on, Caleb. These brothers that come up with new doctrines and new teachings and bring people along with them is going to delay the process.
Right.
It's delaying the inevitable, because inevitably we're going to get out of here, but it's just going to be so prolonged. It's going to keep being prolonged until something happens, until we get redeemed. All right? Go ahead, Caleb. Go ahead.
You really think they're going to prolong it? Because the Most High has a set time.
He has a set time, but remember, certain things have to happen first.
Also, as it says in
Shalom, mother. Right. Yes. Shalom, mother. Yes. He's sifting the house of Israel. Yes. He's weeding out the tares. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. But he's sifting the house of Israel. In fact, get it really fast. Where is that on from my Amos? I think it's Amos. Sifting the house of Israel. Where is it at? It's Amos. Amos 9:9. Amos 9, verse 9.
Amos 9 and 9?
Exactly, yes. He was accused of blasphemy too.
Amos 9 and 9?
Yes, sir.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 9. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as a corn is in the sieve, like as corn in the sift in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth.
Right. So he said, look, I will sift the house of Israel among the nations. Meaning I'm going to spread you out among the nations, but I'm also going to make sure that those of you that are righteous and pure will not fall by the way. Right? And those of us, are we not sifted among the nations? Israel is literally in every nation. So we have to see who's true and who's not. But those that are true will not fall. It says fall upon the earth, meaning that we're not going to fall out of this thing. All right. Israelites here in America, Israelites in Jamaica, Israelites in Africa, and all over the place. Those that are true, they're not going to fall by the wayside. They're not going to fall victim to these new doctrines that pop up. All right. All right. Where do we leave off, Caleb? I think we were in 2 Peter. Yes. Go back to 2 Peter chapter 3:16. Did we jump to verse 3, chapter 3?
We jumped to chapter 3.
Verse 15 to 16?
15.
All right. Chapter 3, verse 15
I
to 16.
think we had complete that. Chapter 2 in Peter's, chapter 3 in Peter's and 16. I'll read it again though.
2 Peter 3 and 16 again. Yes,
yeah.
Please.
As also in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood.
Right. So like I said before, what Paul was asking of the people in his letters was a hard thing for them to understand. To be patient and wait for the Most High to deliver us, especially in those times that they were living in. They were being persecuted by the actual Greeks and the people that they were living around, the heathen. So he's asking them, no, look, listen, y'all got to be patient. The Most High is going to deliver us. They had a hard time understanding that. Right? Read on.
Which they that
Yes. Go ahead.
which they that are unlearned and unstable rest.
Right. Those that are unstable, those that are unlearned, ignorant of the scriptures, and unstable, not solidified in the truth, in the faith, they have a hard time dealing with this thing. So they fight within themselves.
Like wanting to save everybody.
Get right. That's how these doctrines pop up. They see that, okay, certain sects of the other nations are experiencing the same troubles that we are,
Right.
but then they don't realize, well, that's their punishment too, right?
And then God made everybody, so why want everybody?
Exactly. That's, you see how easy that doctrine comes up, how it pops up like that, but it contradicts what we read in the scriptures.
Yeah, but it bounces back to that. all the
Come
time.
on,
Yeah, how should I?
right? Even though he himself never said that, right? Read on.
Which they excuse me, which they that are unlearned and unstable rest, as they do also the other
And
scriptures.
they don't understand the other scriptures. They don't understand what they're reading, so they have a hard time digesting it.
I don't think they read.
They no.
I think they get something like John 3:16, but they don't read about
John 3 and 14.
right, or 17 and 9.
There you go.
Or the discussion Christ had with
Nicodemus.
Nicodemus. That-
First verse, you gotta check the state context.
there you go. So it's hard for them to understand these things. So you know what they're going to twist the doctrine to make it something that they can digest. Instead of realizing, look, this might be a little too hard for me right now. In due time, maybe I'll understand it later.
You don't stay in context.
They-
Well, I don't understand. I'm not gonna read the rest of it.
Right.
I'm
I'm just make up something. So listen, I've been in the truth going on 12 years this December, right? There are things still that I don't understand, but yet I'm not going to sit here and make something up. I'm going to stick with what I know.
Exactly.
And until the Most High reveals it to me, I'm not even going to touch the subject on teaching it because I don't want to speak out of line. So I speak what I know. I speak what I've been taught that I hold true. I don't sit here and make up new doctrines on my own. Now, like I said earlier, it's one thing if you want to sit here and I've been going over this thing and I think we might need to revisit it because there might be some new understanding about it. And I think we should have a discussion about it as opposed to, I don't understand it, brother. I have to come up with something different to make it make sense to me. No, lunar Sabbath. Okay, that's how I come up with that. I just want to buck up against what Esau says, and Esau says that the first day of the week is Sunday, or that his week goes by Sunday to Saturday. He named the Sabbath day after Saturday, so I don't have to. I'm not worshiping on his day.
Even though it said it's 7th day,
Yeah, excuses.
and they know something.
Like,
All right.
come on. Well, hold on, my Uncle Mike, you said.
Yeah, excuses. Who knows that the Sabbath run from that time to now? The same way. From then to now.
There you
Come
go.
on, man.
There you go.
Come on, man.
Come on.
But it says the 7th day. Even Esau's calendar says the 7th day is Saturday. The first day of the week is
Romans
Monday.
might have 9 or 8 days, but I mean, that don't mean that they change anything.
Exactly.
They just have, it's
Exactly. Also, they said themselves, I forget which book it came from, but the Romans would attack the Jews on Saturday
Mhm.
because they knew they weren't doing anything.
On the weekly Sabbath.
They knew that we weren't going to fight back. So they,
Then the Maccabees.
Listen to
Right.
Maccabees?
Yeah.
but no, there was a historical book. I forgot what was the name of the book, but they said that the Roman armies would attack the Jews on the day of Saturn.
It might be in the Josephus
It
too.
may have been in there because they knew that that's when our Sabbath was, and that we weren't going to fight back. They knew it.
No, it's the Maccabee. It's the Maccabee.
No, I know the Maccabee
that
said it.
story, but I'm not down the fact that they knew that how our Sabbaths were, because they let us conduct our ceremonies and whatnot. They knew what we was doing.
Right.
Mhm.
We was under their occupation.
Right.
They didn't know what we was doing. They knew what we was doing.
Mhm.
Oh, they're all in synagogue now.
But
they don't do nothing this day.
right. So my point was they knew that their so-called Saturn's day was our Sabbath day. So
Right.
how do you get lunar doctrine, lunar Sabbath from that? How do you get around that? How? Yeah, bro.
Here's a point in case to this too. Today is the new moon.
Right.
Today is the Sabbath. How do you tell now when is the next Sabbath? But even though it's going to fall back on Saturday, just about, but still, just imagine that. You get what I'm saying? It just doesn't make
It
sense.
doesn't make any sense. Let's go back to the scriptures before I get upset.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we do to and with people that bring different doctrines? What do we do?
Stomp them out.
Stomp them out. Absolutely. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 8. Read 8 to 12. We are told what to do with these people.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 8. Who shall also confirm you unto the end, that he may be blameless in the day of our Adonai, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is faithful, by whom we were called unto the fellowship of his son, Yahweh Shai, our Adonai. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Adonai, Yahweh Shai, that ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no division among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment.
There you go.
Which is basically saying doctrine.
Exactly. We have to come to one doctrine. Okay? We have to. That's number one. We got to come to one doctrine, one teaching, one belief, one faith. That's what scripture says, right?
Right.
Now, go to Romans 16 and 17.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 16 and verse 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause division and offenses contrary to doctrine, which ye have learned, and avoid them.
There you go. You brothers and you sisters who come up with new doctrines, you are marked. We mark y'all. We mark them and say, yo, this brother is off. This brother's teaching is off. Don't listen to them. And this is why. Because we stack them against the scriptures like we read before. Or like we said when you read the thing earlier. We go again, we go by the scripture, the standard of the scriptures. The scriptures are the standard. And if it goes against the scriptures, don't listen to that person. Don't listen to them. Mark them. Name them. And then spread their name amongst the rest of the congregation and say, listen, don't deal with this brother. He's teaching heresies and lies. He's teaching false doctrines. All right?
So if Yahweh says, I only came for the Israelites, and you say, well, he gave the woman a blessing, so he must accept them.
That's a different doctrine.
That's a different doctrine.
The standard is the Bible, what it says. Christ clearly told.
I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's who I came for. It's clear as day. There's no getting around it. And the only reason why she received the blessing was what? She recognized that. She believed that. She said, well, yeah, but even the dogs get a crumb from the master's table. So yeah, I recognize that he's here for you, but can I just get a little bit? And he said, yeah, sure, all right, cool. You great is your faith. Yeah, you believe that now.
That's what they take and try to build a whole new
A whole new doctrine.
Whole new doctrine out of that.
One,
See, he gave us something.
he gave her something, but yet, what did she realize? That came with a condition.
She was a dog.
She was a dog, and that she was the master. Okay. It wasn't the Josephus. The water. I'm gonna read that.
It was
y'all.
in the
It wasn't the
Josephus?
Josephus. It says
It was in the
it's in the Josephus. Okay. So hold on one second. My aunt just sent me this. It says historical accounts indicate that Roman forces exploited the Jewish Sabbath observance to their advantage during sieges of Jerusalem, particularly during the siege led by Pompey in 63 BC and later during the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 AD. The Romans recognized that Jewish law restricted activities on the Sabbath, including defense against an attack, which allowed the Romans to make strategic gains on that day. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Pompey's siege of Jerusalem. Josephus, a Jewish historian, recounted how the Romans were able to breach Jerusalem's walls because the defenders refrained from working on the Sabbath. He noted that while Jewish law permitted defense against an attack, it did not allow for offensive actions on the Sabbath. Okay. Destruction of the Second Temple, 70 AD. Historical sources, including Cassius Dio and Fontinus, indicate that the Roman general Vespasian, later emperor, attacked Jerusalem on the Sabbath, taking advantage of the Jewish restriction on work. This is further supported by Josephus's writings, which mention the Romans' ability to construct siege works on the Sabbath due to Jewish adherence to their day of rest. Jewish response. While Jewish law permitted defense on the Sabbath, the Romans' understanding and exploitation of this restriction created a significant tactical advantage. So they knew.
So the Maccabees would have stopped it.
Well, this was before.
Yeah, I know it was before, but I'm saying in the time of the Maccabees, they stopped.
Yeah, they said, listen, we ain't gonna let people die no more.
We ain't gonna die here. We're not gonna let these heathen kill us.
But yeah,
Understand?
there's another section in our history where the guy was saying that, look, don't attack them people when their Lord is with them.
That's in I think
Judith.
it's in Esther.
That's in
Judith. Judith.
Yeah,
Okay, see.
Yeah. So they knew, they knew our custom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they knew when they should deal with us and when not to deal with us.
See, a lot to that, Auntie. Appreciate that. So, y'all see, they understood that our Sabbath day fell on their Saturn's day, their day of Saturn,
Right.
which was every week. So they knew that there was the seventh day. So how do you get lunar Sabbath out of that? Is you have to make something up out of your own mind because you don't understand the scriptures. All right.
You know what's one of the problems with the brothers and sisters in Christianity in this circle? They don't understand the definition of words allowed.
That's true. That's also very true.
When Yahushua healed that woman, okay, he said, I am not sent her into the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He said, but great is your faith, woman. So he did something good, showing that, okay, I can't deny you your faith, but he never said, I'm going to
deliver you. Right. Salvation's right.
There's a difference right there.
That's also true.
Doing a good healing your daughter.
Right.
That's salvation.
That's true.
Right.
That's a blessing.
Good point.
It's a blessing.
Very good point.
She demonstrated faith and rightfully so. Yeah.
And she received the blessing for it. Absolutely.
She came to me and said, look, please, and they begged, and I said, okay. But I'm not going to give you salvation.
It's the same thing with the Roman centurion.
Yeah.
The Roman centurion said, you don't even have to come to my house. I already know. Just say the word, my servant will be healed. Right?
He showed the faith.
He showed the faith.
To see in Israel.
Yeah. Because the most I said, they demonstrate faith, he will respond. But that's not salvation. But even in the book of Daniel, I mean, they read it, but they're not understanding it. The most I said, they have knowledge, but not understanding. The kingdom shall not be given unto other people.
Give me Matthew 24 and 20 real fast to seal up that point of the the Sabbath thing and whatnot.
He can't do that. He can't do that.
Matter of fact, Christ made Yahushua made it pretty clear. He said, look, my Father sent me down here to save Israel. Salvation for Israel, to complete as it was written that he will come and be a deliverer to Israel as Moses was a deliverer at that time.
Mhm.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing's changed. It's the same program.
Even Luke 1 and verse 68 through 70 explained that. You know, so all right, Matthew chapter 24 and verse 20.
Mhm.
But pray that your flight be not in the winter,
Mhm.
neither on the Sabbath day.
There you go. So Yahushua knew that the Romans would seek to attack us either in the winter or on the Sabbath day. Why? Because those are the two times that we're most vulnerable. Winter, it's cold, it's freezing, and you don't want to be on the run,
In
running
those
through
days.
the tundras in the wilderness. You know what I mean? Running through snow caps,
Mhm.
right? Especially with young children,
Oh, Lord.
right? Or on the Sabbath day. Why? Because ain't nobody gonna defend us. We at rest. We don't want to run, But just like the Maccabee said, listen, not to hell with all that, but we have to survive.
Right.
We can't let them just kill us off just because it's the Sabbath. Right. There you go. There you go. Be not over righteous, right? All right. So we read Romans 16 and 17 about marking those that cause divisions among us, right?
Mhm.
And we said we have to come to one accord, one doctrine, one teaching, right? Give me Titus 1, verse 10.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 1 and verse 10. But there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision.
There you go. There are many Israelites who just like to run their mouths and want to be heard and just want to hear themselves talk. All right. We are laden with that in Israel. There are so many brothers and sisters who got something to say about every little thing. Sometimes you just need to shut your mouth. All right. Read on.
Whose mouth must be stopped.
See? Did I not just say some of y'all just need to shut the hell up? Honestly, just shut up. Be quiet. Everything doesn't need your opinion. Everything doesn't need your response. Okay, just shut up and listen. All right, read on.
Who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not, for filthy lucre's sake.
For what?
Filthy lucre's sake.
Because they don't get some money out of this. Listen, y'all don't think that that the Israelite community has been infiltrated?
Big time.
Big time. Our community has been infiltrated. They do it all the time. They infiltrated the Nation of Islam. They infiltrated Martin Luther King's circles. They infiltrate all these
Malcolm X.
They infiltrate everything. Y'all really think they're just gonna leave us by ourselves to our own devices? No, they're gonna try and put a stop to all of this. And one of the ways to do it is to bribe one of the brothers or the sisters who got that I need to get my money spirit and say, look, if you go on and teach this to disrupt the movement, quote unquote, I use that term loosely, right? I give you this. I give you $5 million. I give you I'll give you a blank check. Name your price. All you got to do is just go in there and disrupt the flow of things. We can break this group up. Or they'll have somebody already in their ranks and say, look, this is the profile of the group. This is their leader. This is their teaching. This is that. B, C, and D. We need you to go in there and disrupt everything and make out with it. Y'all seen that movie, Judas and the Black Messiah? It was a true story. The brother that infiltrated the Black Panther Party and got No, Judas and the Black Messiah. It was about Fred Hampton.
Yeah.
And the brother that they got to infiltrate his chapter of the Black Panther Party and report back to the FBI and the CIA about what they was doing. They got that brother good, and he could never live with himself afterwards. Yeah, exactly. He was a Judas priest, and y'all see what Judas did. They got to Judas and said, "Look, tell us where he is. We'll give you 30 pieces of silver. We ain't gonna harm him. We ain't gonna hurt him. We just take him into custody. We ain't gonna kill him.
We just want to talk.
We just want to talk to him. Just tell us where he is, and we'll give you this money." Betrayed innocent blood, right?
Judas said, "I don't see anything wrong with that if they just want to talk.
It's just 30 pieces of silver.
It's
just to talk.
Yeah, I could hold that.
Yeah, it's just money. He gonna be over here. He's holding Passover with his disciples right now. Come on, get him. You can get him. It's the Sabbath day. You can get him.
Right.
It's a Sabbath. It's a high holy day. You can get him. Go get him. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
Filthy lucre. All right. Was that verse 12?
Uh,
No, verse 11. Okay, go ahead. Read verse 12.
verse 12. One of themselves, even a prophet of their own, said that
The Cretians.
the Cretians are always liars, evil beasts, slow bellies.
See? Even one of their own. They're like, yo, these guys, they're teaching false. They're liars. Okay? They're lying prophets. They're false prophets. Okay? Evil beasts. Right? Read verse 13.
This witness is true.
See, he said, look, they're telling the truth over there. Their own people said it. Right? Read on.
Wherefore rebuke them
We
sharply.
do what?
Rebuke them sharply.
We rebuke them sharply. Don't go soft on them. Don't go melancholy. No. Get them, hit them where it hurts. Tell them, like, yo, you're dealing falsely, brother. You're teaching lies. Stop this. Right? And then what else? To do what? Go ahead.
That they may be sound in the faith.
See? That they may be sound in the faith. They have to be sound in this belief. And you reinforce that with the scriptures. All right? Read verse 14.
Not giving heed to Jewish fables.
So what?
Jewish fables.
A Jewish fable is the lunar Sabbath day. I'm going to keep going on that because that is a doctrine that will not die for some reason. Okay? I can, not to say I can live with it, but I can see why the world has been deceived that that Jesus Christ is a white man. I see that because the people who are telling that story have been in power for thousands of years. So the doctrine is going to take as long as it does, as long as it took to instill it, it's going to take that long to destroy it. But a doctrine like that, the lunar Sabbath, nah, that's got to get stomped out immediately. That doctrine cannot spread. It has to stop. It has to die. It has to. And it's our job to do that. It's our job as teachers to shut that stuff down. All right? Is that it on that?
No, sir.
All right, go ahead.
And commandments of men that turn from the truth.
See, commandments of men coming up with brand new holidays, brand new ideologies like the 5% Nation and all this here, right? Are there any holidays in the 5% Nation?
Not what I know.
Do they really do holy days and no feast days, nothing like that?
Not what I know.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that till just now.
Don't take any help.
No, not at all. Because I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, I know in Islam there are certain like what they call holidays, quote unquote, right? So if you basically branch off of that, every religion really has days that they venerate. So how do you have a new religion without any days of remembrance or festivity? How do you do that? See, doctrines of devils, because there's a sacred calendar. There's the holy days in every year. So anyway, from there.
Hold on. We got to read this out. This is some good stuff here.
Okay.
Verse 15. And unto the pure, all things are pure.
See, unto the pure, all things are pure.
But unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure.
See.
But even their mind and conscience is defiled.
And that's what happens. That's why these doctrines come. Their conscience and their minds are defiled because they're not pure. They don't have that pure influence of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is supposed to teach you these things and help you root yourself in it, right? But because these brothers have not been imparted with it, they come up with these ideas and these new doctrines to try and force themselves into impartation with the Holy Spirit, if that makes sense.
Yes, it's like having a circle and trying to put a square in it.
There you go.
Can't make it up.
You can't make it up. Go ahead, read on.
They profess that they know the Hotter One, but in works they deny him, being abominable.
Being abominable, meaning the Most High hates you. He hates it when you come up with new doctrines that are contrary to what is being taught, contrary to the truth. Right? Go ahead.
Disobedient, and unto every good work Reprobate.
A reprobate, meaning your mind is completely gone.
Snared.
Yup, you are gone. All right. Now, from there, let's go to Deuteronomy 13:1. We'll go to the law about what we do with false prophets. What are you supposed to do with them?
Deuteronomy chapter 13 and verse 1.
Yep.
If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer or a dream or of dreams,
A dreamer of dreams, right?
and giveth thee a sign or a wonder,
Right.
and the sign of the wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods which thou hast not known, and let us serve them.
Right. So if a prophet or a dreamer of dreams or someone who can work signs and wonders and miracles, and those miracles cause them to say, listen, let's go after worship other gods, right? What do we do with them? Go ahead.
Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of the prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for the other one, your power proveth you to know whether ye love the other one, your power, with all your heart and with all your soul.
See, so the Most High sends these people to see if we really believe him, if we really honestly love and obey him. That's why these false prophets and these false teachings come up, to see, okay, who's really about this? Because remember, the Lord isn't looking for just any old body, right? He wants specific people who are about this truth, about this faith, all right? Who will obey the words of the Father, right? Read on. Verse 4.
Verse 4. Ye shall walk after the other one, your power, and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and he shall serve him and cleave unto him.
See, it says, fear him and keep his commandments. The commandments are the roots. Okay? Read on.
And that prophet and that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death.
See, we got to kill these false prophets. Now, does that mean that we're going to walk up to every Israelite that teaches a new doctrine and slit their throat? No. I'm not going to do that today. No. But guess what? There will come a time that's going to have to be the case. We're going to have to put sword to throat, if you will. Blade to throat. Gun to head and say, what was that doctrine you was teaching? You believe that now? Okay. We're going to have to put a stop to them. Right now, we're spiritually putting a stop to them by saying, look, your teaching is false. Repent. All right. Read on.
Because he had spoken to turn you away from the other one, your power, which brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which the other one, the power, commanded thee to walk in. So shalt thou put the evil away from the midst of thee.
And that's why we have to snuff them out, because we have to put evil away from Israel. Remember, they're delaying the process. They're delaying our deliverance because they're just leading people away. All right. Now, why do these things happen? Why do these false doctrines and teachings pop up and these brothers start teaching these weird, fruitless doctrines? Why? What do y'all think?
One, because of when slavery was happening, all these religions came in after so many years of our generation that came here died out.
Okay. Go ahead.
I say it goes deeper than that. This goes back to like Pharisees, Sadducees, teaching their own doctrine, and they were really not what the Christ, what Yahushua was teaching.
Okay.
So this is what we're getting here. It's spin from this one. This one, I don't believe in Yahushua. I don't believe what Moses says. So you have this whole, confusion going on.
Okay.
And then, of course, with Edom, the Edomites giving them their religion back to the true witness of the events. All that stuff is causing a division. Some of them are strong-minded in what they learned.
Okay.
From slavery up until now. I mean, that is a recurring nightmare, because that spirit that's in them is back here again now.
Okay.
So I can't, from what the Most High showed me, I can't blame Esau totally.
Nope.
But a lot of them were wicked and evil. And the Most High said, I'm going to blind, like he said in the book of Isaiah. When he got up at that temple in the New Testament, he said, I shall blind you, that many of you will not see the truth. because they killed the prophet. And most I when you kill the prophet, that's it, you're done.
Okay. What do you think, Yahweh?
As far as dealing with false prophets.
Yeah, what? No, like, why do these things happen? Why do these new doctrines continue to pop up in Israel and start to lead people away? Why do you think these things happen?
People are just rebellious, they don't want to submit to the order of the Most High.
Okay, that's simple enough. Uncle Mike, what you think? Okay, all right, that's simple enough too. What say you, sister?
I have in mind Yeshua, Jesus the Christ.
Mm-hmm.
When he came on board, he brought forth a different doctrine from what the Pharisees and Sadducees were teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So, in effect, they wanted to get rid of him, and they did eventually get rid of him because of what he was bringing forth.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be very mindful of how we dismiss things that are being presented to us because it's different from what we were brought up with and educated to believe in for centuries.
So I actually did mention that earlier.
Right. The Most High, he moves in stages.
Mm-hmm.
At one stage, the people were ready for one lesson.
Mm-hmm.
At another stage, as we progress, more and more additional truth can be added. And so we have to first listen and check and evaluate to see if what is coming forth is in fact truth or not. If it is not truth, then we need to dismiss it. If it is truth, then we need to embrace it.
So yeah, like I said, we discussed this earlier. Like there is a difference between saying, okay, look, we need to revisit some of the things that we were taught earlier in older times and say, okay, let's discuss it, let's talk about it, right? And then there's those who just pop up with a new doctrine and say it goes against everything that we've been taught, everything that's true, right? Especially like we talk about the lunar Sabbath thing, right? We know that it's against the scriptures because we've gone through the scriptures and showed you how the moon has never dictated the days of the week. It's always dictated the days of the month. But because it's different than someone saying, like, okay, I'll give you a perfect example, right? Recently, like within the last 3 or 4 months, right? One of the brothers from Sons of Thunder, right? And I don't like name dropping, but it's already out there. Okay, one of the brothers from Sons of Thunder proposed the idea or the doctrine that John 1:1 may not exactly be talking about a pre-incarnate Yahushai. Now, when he brought the idea, initially, even y'all looking at me just saying that, it's just like, what? Right? That just right. That's how y'all feel, right? Like, what did he just say? But when he actually, like, he put out an entire PowerPoint and thesis about it and showed and broke down why he doesn't necessarily think that. But he's not proposing an entirely new doctrine. He's just saying, look, we might need to revisit this, you know, because we've been led to believe that John 1:1 teaches that in the beginning, Yahushai was with the Most High and this, that, and the third, which we all believe and agree that he was. Right? But when you talk about the word and what that word actually means in Greek, all right, the logos, right? That word in Greek means logos. So we have to understand and dissect what they mean by logos, right? So there's a difference between that and someone just coming up with a new doctrine saying, no, we need to honor the lunar Sabbath. That's what I mean by that, sis. So when we talk about new doctrines, I'm talking about those that are clearly false. They're teaching contrary to especially the doctrine that Paul and the apostles taught. Peter and those that walked with Yahushai, those that were teaching contrary to them, what they believe or what they taught. why do these things happen? Why do you think that these things happen? Why do you think that people just pop up with new doctrines out of nowhere and try to dismiss what's been established already?
There are people who are into power and glory for themselves. So they're trying to get a following. And so they will present their facts, their thing as truth to pull people to them to build up their
Okay, that's what I agree with everybody. What do you think, Yashalaba? I forgot to mention you.
Of course you do.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think you were sleeping.
Ultimately, it's the most high.
Okay. Okay. Expound on that a little bit, please.
What was the question again?
So, so we're talking about brothers and sisters who come up with new doctrines that contradict the established doctrine, heresies and blasphemies, right? Coming up with these new teachings that go against what is already been established as truth and common belief. Why do you think these things happen?
Well, I said it's the most high program.
Yes.
Also, the young lady there that's speaking, mostly she broke it down.
Yes.
There are a lot of things what she said is true.
Mm-hmm.
They come up with lies for
power
power
and glorification. Yes.
Over their congregation,
Mm-hmm.
and ultimately for money.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, I just wanted to see where y'all were with that.
But the main thing is that the fact that the majority of people believe that Christ died for everybody, and that's one of those
that will never go
That's
away.
a stronghold.
That's a stronghold.
Mhm.
It's a stronghold.
People believe that
Mhm.
no matter what, even though it's not written, and Christ clearly said who he came for, they still push that.
Mhm.
He's gonna save everybody. Can be saved.
So we're going to discuss this, right? Why do these things happen? We're going to start with James 1:8. I'm almost done. I know we've been here for a little bit, but I'm almost done.
We're hungry. Feed us.
Kind of give us a solution.
Oh yes.
So we can get that, ironed out. But a lot of brothers kind of managed to be puffed up.
You know what?
My camp, I don't have to listen to what they say, but that's their camp. And,
You know what it also is? I'm gonna tell you the truth. Say it again.
It's just one.
There is one truth, but you know what it also is, brother? A lot of us are scared to do it.
Mhm.
A lot of us are scared to say to go up against someone and say, no, that's wrong. Don't do that. Stop teaching that. Right?
That's why you need to come together. And this, like I said, the solution is right there in the
It's
scripture. It's down yourself to get all nation not desire.
How many of us are scared to do that? We're scared to do it. Mhm.
To do what?
To actually to apply the solution that the Father gave us. A lot of us are actually scared. A lot of us are scared to keep the commandments. So definitely when a problem arises, a lot of us are definitely scared to do it. It also depends on who it is, right? Think about this. We are commanded to put certain people to death, right? According to whatever sin they committed. What if that's your wife or your parents or your child? The solution's already there for you. Yo, you got to put them to death. No matter who it is, right? But some of us would be like, I don't want to kill my wife. I don't want to kill my son. I don't want to put my daughter to death. I love them. The same thing with our people, right? We see that some of us may have a strong relationship with a certain individual, but then they come up with a doctrine or a heresy, and we have to snuff it out. And someone may be like, but that's my man's. I don't want to put him on blast. Like again, we deal with the same brother who shall remain nameless, got exposed for certain things that he was doing with his rib. The brother who exposed him may have thought about it beforehand and said, look, that's my man. That's between him and his wife. I don't know if I should put that on Front Street, but he wound up doing it anyway. Some of us may be too afraid to do that, may be hip to what's going on, or it might be within our own congregation where some of the leaders might be going off and saying, I don't know if I can buck up against the leadership and say y'all are doing wrong. Some of us are probably afraid to do it. You know what I mean?
That's true.
You know?
I'm talking about the general notion that
Oh.
everybody's pushing.
Oh, well.
That Christ is going to save everybody. Anybody could be saved.
Oh, no. Well,
So
we
what you're really talking about there is being respect of persons.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes. The Most I say he's no respect of person. So we should be like-minded, no respect of person. You can call that brother in a meeting and say, let's discuss this. If it's not discussed, it's not taken care of, and this type of darkness or confusion is here.
It's going to spread.
And so we have to do something about this, and if he doesn't want to do anything,
You got to put them out. Go ahead, Sharon.
As you expounded a minute ago, we as the church, can we ask the elders them questions like that?
Yes, you're supposed to. You're supposed to do that. If the elder, that's what I'm saying. Some of us are too afraid to do that. Where we clearly see that, okay, something's awry here, but the congregation doesn't want to approach them and say, look, or there may have been a situation where the elders misjudged the situation and everybody knows it, but we don't want to say, but we say in our hearts, well, that's the elder. They've been in the truth for 45 years. I don't know if I can just come up and say, hey, you did that falsely. This is why. Some of us may be too afraid to do that because they're an elder, right? Go ahead, Caleb.
I believe if you're afraid, there should be a conversation regardless. That's just me. If I feel like this is a conversation need to be talked about, I'm gonna find a way to bring it across so you and I can deal with it or talk about it where it can somehow, we could get some answers.
Now, here's the thing. You just said that, right? And I'm gonna get to you in a second, mother. There's a solution for that too. There's a solution in the Bible for that. In fact, we can read it really fast. Give me 1 Timothy. I believe it's chapter 5. Yes, there we go.
Second,
First,
chapter 5.
start at verse 1.
This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 5 and verse 1. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father,
right,
and the younger man as brethren.
So clearly we're supposed to respect the elders of the congregation, right? Especially those elders that not necessarily in rank, but in actual age. Like everyone in this building right now is older than me. And I respect you all as elders, okay? So even though I'm up here teaching, you're all still older than me. So I have to give y'all the respect. I can't talk to y'all any old certain way. You understand? So it says, rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father and the younger men as brethren. Now jump down to verse 19. Same book, same chapter.
Against an elder receive not an accusation, but before 2 or 3 witnesses.
So see what you just said? If you saw that the elders were doing something wrong and you're afraid to have a conversation, here's a solution for that. You go to 2 or 3 other brothers or sisters who saw the same thing, and you say, y'all saw that? Did y'all hear about what the elders did the other day when the sister came to them and they just said this, that, and the third and just dismissed it? That wasn't right, right? Nah, that wasn't right at all. We got to do something about it. They went against the scriptures. We got to bring this to a discussion, because if not, they're going to do it again. We have to snuff this out now.
Right.
So even though we might be afraid, there's a solution for it. Like the brother said, we just may be too afraid to apply it. It's the same thing with these new doctrines that pop up. Y'all heard about this doctrine over here that this brother was teaching? Yeah. How do you feel about it? Not feeling it. Okay. So we bring it to our elders and say, look, did y'all hear about this new doctrine that popped up? 9 times out of 10, they did. And we go, okay, what are we going to do about it? Are they going to be like, no, we're not teaching that, so, and this is why? Or B, we're going to have a conversation with that brother and we're going to settle this and make it straight. Make sense? Okay. Sis, you had a question?
No. The point that you brought up was what I was going to say, that there was a protocol for how we should treat. But you even brought the scriptures.
See?
Here, so it's fine.
See, there's a scripture for everything.
Okay. Produce your cause.
Exactly.
If there's an error in the church, we're not supposed to just sit back and say, well, you're the elders, I can't say nothing. You have to bring forth, go to the scripture and say, okay, now, elder so-and-so, I disagree with this. This is not upon the scripture. Now, if he or she or whoever this want to go along with it, now you have a council.
Exactly. That's what you're supposed to do.
That's breaking down the walls and making us defenseless, because now when there's sin, okay, it gives the enemy opportunity to break in and destroy souls.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at it. I don't look at it where, well, I can't say no. Look, I'm here to defend the faith and the brothers and sisters.
Absolutely.
If you're the elder and you're going up, I'm going to tell you you're going up.
Exactly. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed. Even me. If y'all hear me say something wild and crazy up here and against the scriptures or against the teaching, y'all supposed to stop me and say, no, wait, no, time out. We're not teaching that. We don't believe that. Even whether y'all want to do it in the middle of the class or y'all want to pull me aside and say, look, you taught wrong. What you taught was wrong. You're supposed to do that.
Actually, if you're teaching, because the whole world is hearing you and you make a mistake, it should be corrected right then and there.
It should be. And there's some times where it might pop up immediately, but you know what? There are other times where somebody might be like, huh? Did we hear what he just, they got to digest a little bit?
Yeah.
And then we go, wait a minute, that was wrong. We got to address this. And we got to address it swiftly and promptly before it spreads again.
See, what people understand, they just look at it more from a lower nature, physical.
Mhm.
Like he said, he made a mistake. If words have a spirit, now,
Absolutely.
spirit.
Absolutely.
That spirit is allowed to mingle
And run.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And it affects people rapidly, right? No, your sister had a question, yes.
Yeah. What is coming up is if you have an offense with someone, you have to go to them privately
Mm-hmm.
and bring that forth. And then if it is not resolved, then you include other people to get it moving. So rebuking somebody publicly, openly, I am just wondering if that is right. You need to do it privately,
So-
and then let the person correct themselves in public.
So,
But
no, I'm glad you made. I'm glad
That's
you brought that
Matthew
up.
18.
Yeah, exactly. There is a distinction. Yes, there's a distinction. So, say like you have a personal issue with someone in the congregation. You are supposed to handle it with them one-on-one first, right? Then, if they don't listen, you bring 2 or 3 others, especially someone who saw the offense, and say, "Look, they all saw this too. They all witnessed this too. Do we still have a problem?" If it doesn't stop there, then you bring it before the congregation. Now, the elders and the leaders who sin. In fact, did we finish 1 Timothy?
Hold on.
We stopped at 19, right? No,
Yeah.
chapter 5. Read 1 Timothy 5:19 and 20.
1
Never
Timothy
read 20.
5 and 17,
19.
19. Verse 19. 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 19. Against an elder receive not an accusation, but before 2 or 3 witnesses.
So Paul was instructing Timothy on how to deal with situations regarding the elders, because it's not just like any old person. We're dealing with someone who's seasoned, who's older than us, right? So you can't just say against an elder, "Oh, you did falsely against me," right? But he said, again, unless it's 2 or 3 witnesses. We're talking about a personal matter, right? Like in Matthew 18. But then he says this, read verse 20.
Them that sin rebuke before all, that others also may fear.
That's the difference. Them that sin rebuke before all. Especially if they sin openly, right? We're not talking about a personal offense between brother and sister. We're talking about the elder went off and said this and taught this and did this. No, we got to correct that right now.
What's that scripture that say open rebuke is better than love? I think.
Secret love.
Secret love.
What's that scripture? Uncle Mike, I know you know. Open rebuke is better than secret love. It might be. It's a proverb. It's in Proverbs 27:5. Yeah. Proverbs 27:5. You want to read it real fast.
Yeah. Proverbs 27.
27 and verse 5.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 27 and verse 5. Open rebuke is better than secret love.
There you go. Open rebuke is better than secret love. And if the elder is righteous, and if the elder is of a sound mind, they will see the error of their ways, humble down, and repent.
That's it.
And you can be a witness and a whatchamacallit to the rest of the brothers and sisters. Right? An example, right, of what happens when you messed up, but you repented. And then you're back in the good graces. All right. So let's go back to James 1 and 8. We didn't get cited. Huh? Say again. Oh, okay. Good.
The way you teach you that we have to kill that or stop that right away. What was that? What were you saying at that time? If they're teaching the wrong doctrine, you have to do what? We have
to silence that doctrine, especially quickly. That was in, I believe it was Titus.
Like you were saying that word, like implying that you have to kill them.
Oh no, that was in Deuteronomy. So I was saying that I was bringing the point of that in the law, right? False prophets were supposed to be put to death. Right. Now I use the word spiritually killing them because we're silencing whatever teaching they're coming up with. It's a loose term I'm using. We're not actually putting anybody to death. I'm just saying like we're silencing them. We have to stomp those doctrines out.
What I'm saying is because the people, when you say that to them, they're taking it like you mean you want to kill us now.
Oh, no, I'm not going to kill them now.
What I'm getting you to see is when you do teach that, you have to give understanding.
Right.
That is not for now.
Right. It's for later.
Time when we're under the laws of righteousness. But we're just teaching it now spiritually with understanding.
Right.
For you to have that information.
Right. We're not going to put nobody to death right now. No. Right.
And we're not in rulership right now.
So
it's in rulership.
Exactly.
If you do that, they're going to say, "Oh, you want to be a vigilante?"
Right.
Oh,
essentially. Essentially. Right. Go ahead, Sharon.
But when we were at the old school, a lot of us, we had a lot of fear because the dead boys,
Yeah, I know it was hard for y'all back then. It was, I know they were very intimidating back then, but you know what? They were not also supposed. Remember, the truth was in its infancy stages back then too, right? A lot of the things that we know now, the elders back then didn't know. Like I just came to the realization they didn't keep new moons back then, right? Y'all didn't keep the new moon, right, Yahweh? So, the truth was in its infancy stages. So that meant that a lot of the men they were learning as they went. They did what they knew. Remember, a lot of them came from jail. A lot of them came from the Nation of Islam. A lot of them came from Christianity. A lot of them came from different walks of life. So they had to learn how to be extremely disciplined. Now, in some of y'all older age, y'all softened up a little bit. But I know back then it was hard for y'all. I know.
No accountability.
Yeah. But as we grow, right? Or we're supposed to. All right. Let's go to James. Let's go to James.
James what?
James 1 and 8. So the question was, why do these things happen, right? Why do these things happen? Why do all these new doctrines pop up? We almost done, y'all. We almost done. Why do these new doctrines keep popping up? Let's go there. James 1 and 8.
James 1 and 8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
That's number one. A lot of these brothers are double-minded. Okay, they want to believe two different things, right? They want to serve two masters.
Right.
They want to stay. Some of them want to be in the truth, and some of them want to still be in the world.
Right.
They want to have 1 foot in the truth, 1 foot in the world. All right. So because of that, they become unstable, double-minded. I can believe this, but I can also do this.
Right.
But if I believe this and I can also do this, that means I can blend the two, and that's how a new doctrine pops up. That's one of the ways. All right. Like I listen. We're all adults here, all right? We're all adults, so we understand sex, right? I saw a doctrine that said you can lay with your wife while she's on her menstrual cycle.
No, Lord,
No, you can't do that. No, scripture says no, you can't do that. Okay, the scriptures. I heard another doctrine pop up that you can lay with your wife on the Sabbath day, no matter what day of the week it is. Can't do that. No.
When I was coming up, our other things that people suggest that she's your wife. I don't know, man.
See? Yeah, brother.
See what brothers and sisters didn't understand at that time. Most I showed me clearly, like explain it today with me now. When I was at One West, there's some things that I didn't know, so I can challenge them.
Right.
But the type of guy that will challenge, if I know it's right, I would sit, but I was like, I was actually right walking with Yahweh, every day.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who Yahweh was.
Mm-hmm.
Yahweh said, look, you got to stick to God. You take you over the Most High.
Mm.
He said, look, y'all better listen up before the Most High, do something to you. So I was actually on the right type of tutelage where Yaakov was told he was in his 80s. He said, look, they need to get themselves together. But the thing is, what brothers and sisters don't understand spiritually, when you do those things spiritually, there's certain angels or spirits acting on what you just did or said. You don't understand this thing. It's like you have to be mindful of what you say and what you do, because you're actually attracting these spirits to you. And before you know, they consume your body, and before you know it, you walk around with a spirit, sometimes you don't even know that you actually embrace that spirit. So punching the spirit, and so that makes the Most High angry, because the Most High said, look, you're quenching the spirit, you're not of me,
Right.
by your own mind. If
Right.
my will be done, your will be done.
Right.
So now what type of spirit they attracting? The devil.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
you gotta be very careful.
All right. From there. So we said that a double-minded man is unstable in all their ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get Matthew 6:24 for me. Okay, Matthew 6:24.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 24. No man can serve two masters.
You can't be double-minded. You can't serve the Most High and your own will. All right, read on.
For either he will hate the one and love the other.
He's telling you, you're gonna love one master, you're gonna hate another. Those of you that have worked two jobs before at the same time, right? You realize one job you actually might like, the other one you can't stand. I'm only here just so I can get a paycheck. You know what I mean? Read on.
Or else he will hold to the one and despise the other.
And that goes with belief systems too. You can't serve Christianity and be in the truth. You can't go to Passover and Christmas. You know what I mean? Remember, Elijah asked the people, how long will y'all halt between two opinions? You listen, you're either going to serve the Most High, you're going to serve this. You can't do both. And that's the problem with a lot of these brothers that come up with new doctrines. They're trying to serve the Most High and themselves and serve the world too. Because you can't do both. You're trying to establish new doctrine, you're trying to gain power to yourself. Like the sister said earlier, you're trying to be glorified in power. And you can't do that because you have to realize the Most High has the ultimate power and authority. And if you humble yourself, you're either going to humble yourself to that opinion or that thought, or you're going to serve yourself, or you're going to serve Satan. One or the other. You got to pick one. All right, read on.
He cannot serve Yahweh and Mammon.
Y'all know what Mammon is? Exactly. Filthy lucre. Can't do both. All right. From there, give me Ephesians 4 and 14. Ephesians 4 and 14.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 4 and verse 14. That he henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine.
There you go. That's what's happening to these brothers. They're being henceforth thrown through every wind of doctrine. They want to listen to every little thing, trying to get every little piece of knowledge that they have, and not stabilizing themselves with what was supposed to be the truth. Okay, so because of that, they start to believe all kinds of things. getting tossed getting tossed with every wind of doctrine. All right. Well, hold on. Let me read something real fast. Verse 15 count.
We didn't finish 14. You want me to finish out 14?
Yeah, go ahead.
By the sleight of man.
By the sleight of men. Y'all know what the sleight of men means? Lies. By being tricked. Okay? By being tricked by man. Go ahead.
Cunning craftiness.
Cunning craftiness. They come up with these cunning, crafty doctrines, right? Like in Psalms 81, by their crafty counsel, right? These brothers come up with these slightly different doctrines and then they spring up into new established doctrines. Little conversation here and there, little meeting here and there, we talking, and then next thing you know, there's a whole new doctrine out in Israel. Next thing you know, Esau can't be saved, or that Esau is Japheth, the white man is Japheth. Y'all have heard those doctrines before. All these weird doctrines that pop up, and it's just like that doesn't make any sense.
Is that word slate or slate?
Slate. SLEIGHT. Slate of men. Yeah. Slate of men.
Okay.
They trick you. All right. Go ahead.
Whereby they lie in wait to deceive.
See, they're waiting to deceive y'all. All right. They're waiting to deceive you. They're trying to see who they can get to follow them. All right. Go ahead.
But speaking the truth in love may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even Yahushua.
Even Yahushua. But if we speak the truth in love, we bring them to Yahushua. That's basically what he's saying. All right. So from there, speaking of every winded doctrine, right? Get me Psalms 69 and 2. Psalms 69 and 2.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 69 and verse 2. I sink in deep miry, where there is no standing. I am come into deep waters, where the flood overflowed me.
That's what happens to these brothers. They get so consumed and so lost in the sauce, that they can't swim. You ever heard the term sink or swim? They sink. All right. Why? Because they did not root themselves. They did not build a strong foundation in this doctrine and in this truth. So now they drown. They drown in all these other philosophies and other doctrines, and now that's how they come up believing that the lunar Sabbath, that the white man is Japheth, and all these other things. You understand? So, because they did not root themselves, all right? Luke 6 and 48. This is what we've been saying the entire time, basically. Luke 6 and 48. I'm almost done, y'all.
Now looking at these comments.
What are they saying?
One guy is just like says these things. These are.
Is it nonsense?
Yeah.
Speaking nonsense.
But he wants to know what happens when the elders go off.
Oh, I read that already. When the elders go off, we the congregation are supposed to rebuke them and hold them accountable. Who else? Or the other elders, right? If the other elders are wise and prudent, then they're supposed to sit down with them and say, hey, look. That's not the program here. If not, then we, the congregation, are supposed to do that. All right. Yes, we went over that.
He said, he saw something from IUIC teach that about sex on the Sabbath.
See?
What?
I'm not the first time that. See, it's not the first time that has been heard before. Madness. Was what?
Vexing.
Oh. Okay, so let me ask you a question, right? We can see this is how easy it is to destroy that doctrine, right? What happens when you have sex? What are you now? You're unclean. Thank you.
So how are you going to come up in the Sabbath?
Thank you.
Isaiah 58, verse 13 and 14. We are not supposed to be engaging our pleasure on the Sabbath.
Hello. See how simple and easy of an explanation that was? That's in.
Take a shower, wash yourself.
And you'll clean into the evening.
And exactly.
Whatever, listen, let's just keep it a buck. Wherever the semen goes, it's now unclean. If it's on you, on her, on the bed sheets, your clothes, you got to wash it all, and you're unclean until the evening. So if I lay with my wife on Friday night, can I come to the service on Sunday?
No.
On a Saturday?
No.
Can I come to the Passover?
No.
So how can I have sex on the Sabbath?
You can.
Hello.
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to do that. Now, again, if you get chanced by night, like it says in, I think, what's that? If a brother has a night emission or a wet dream, something that's out of his control, then yeah, you're still unclean.
Right. You gotta go through the
Cleansing process.
There you go. So how can I have sex on the Sabbath? You see how you see what happens when you actually go back to the scriptures and destroy the doctrine? That's what I'm talking about. These weird doctrines that come up that go against the scriptures, and the scriptures make it plain. You can't do that. You're not supposed to do that.
Most I say, draw nigh to me, and I shall draw nigh to you.
Come on now.
Sin. He said, "Eat thereof and not sinners." So now, when we go and sin, asking the Most High and telling God, the Most High said, "Get away from me."
There you go. I don't want to. I'm not talking. Bless you. All right. Luke 6:48.
Luke chapter 6 and verse 48. He is like a man which built an house and digged deep and laid the foundation on a rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon the house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon a rock.
See, there you go. He said, a man that listens to my sayings, that's what he's like. He built his house upon a rock, a solid foundation. What's the foundation? The commandments, right? And when the flood came, or those every wind of doctrines, once those new doctrines started to flood over him, he didn't get shook. He didn't start to believe it. Why? We just did a perfect example of it. Why can you not have sex on the Sabbath? Because it makes you unclean according to the law. And you saw how easy it was for y'all to not get shaken by that because you know the law. Go ahead, Caleb.
Yeah, it's just the same way when it comes to the law. Having the foundation of the law is so important, because in the Sunday church or other churches, they would come up with the doctrine of, okay, that's
done away with.
It's done away with, meaning you can eat pork now. That's done away with. You can eat shellfish. You can eat lobster, whatever. It's all done away with. All you got to do now is just bless it and eat it.
There you go. There you go.
If you wanted to feed them, whether any brothers or sisters from any camp, and they come with their foolishness and in violation of the law, right? When you go to Isaiah 8 and 20,
see, there you go.
Almost I tell you, to the law
and to the testimony.
They speak not upon this and do it. Okay, he said,
there's no light in them.
No light in them.
Don't listen to them.
Don't listen to them.
They're full of darkness.
Okay, I don't care. They say, I'm an Israelite, and I wear my garments, fringes. If you come not upon the law and
the testimony.
Okay, you're not my brother if you're not acting.
Hello. So y'all see how easy it was for y'all to not get swayed by that, because you know the law. You built the foundation upon a rock. So when that flood came, when that wind of doctrine came, hold on, Caleb, it didn't shake you. You didn't fall off and say, "Oh, I believe it now." No, you realize that's foolishness, madness. Yeah, Caleb.
I got the scripture for you with the copulation.
Okay, go ahead.
It said, "And if any man's seed of copulation."
Oh, chapter and verse, yes.
Leviticus 15 and verse 16. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
And if any man's seed of copulation go out from him.
So if you have, as men, if we have an orgasm, all right, and ejaculate, let's just call it plainly what it is, all right? All right? You have it, you have that orgasm and you ejaculate the semen. Go ahead.
Then he shall wash all his flesh in water.
You got to take a whole shower, a whole body shower. All right, go ahead.
And be unclean until the evening.
There you go. So how are you going to have sex on the Sabbath day, on Friday night? How? You're unclean until the next evening. You're unclean the whole Sabbath. Thank you. You can't come to the congregation. You're unclean. How do you do that? How?
See what do it.
Right? Read on.
And every garment
So if it gets on your clothes, go ahead.
and every skin
So if it gets on her skin, your skin, right? Go ahead.
whereon is the seed of copulation
Right.
shall be washed with water
Mm-hmm.
and be unclean until the evening.
So everything that it gets on is unclean. So your clothes and whatever else it gets on. Go ahead.
The woman also with whom men lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water
Mm-hmm.
and be unclean until the
There
evening.
you go.
And if a woman
That's it on that. That's
Okay.
it on that. That's it on that. Because then the next it goes into the woman's menstrual cycle.
Okay, yeah.
So
That's another part of it.
That's another part. You can't you cannot have sex on a Sabbath day. How are we supposed to do that? Because having sex makes you unclean, clearly. So then how are you going to come to the Sabbath day unclean? That's an abomination. Most likely going to jack you up for that.
And not to mention, you're making everyone else around you unclean.
Verse 24?
Verse 24. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days.
There you go.
And all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean.
There you go.
We had a brother here that came here unclean, brought his family. His wife was on.
She was on her menstrual cycle.
Yeah.
See?
She was in the car outside. The kids are running in and out, and that was the abomination. I was unfold.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, because everything that she sits on becomes unclean. Everybody who sits on whatever she sits on becomes unclean. And then everything they sit on becomes unclean.
Right. Well, she touches.
Right. You see how these doctrines pop up, and it's just like, how is that possible? You're violating the commandment. It goes directly against the commandments. And y'all see how easily we snuffed it out. That's what we have to continue to do. Oh, don't even get oh my goodness. That one was just wow. Like it came from the same place, you said? The lunar Sabbath place? Oh, well, see, there you go. That doctrine just no, and no, they haven't.
But they need to know better.
Way better. He was with them in the beginning. He came from One West. Yeah, he came from that teaching, and I genuinely don't know where he got it from.
I can bet you a lot of Satan guys are homemongers. Anybody that talks like that is a homemonger.
I wouldn't put it past him. I don't put nothing past anybody in Israel at this point.
For real.
Because we're like a wild bush, the Most High says. We just grow in every direction and no structure to us.
That's why we need a little pruning every now and then.
They have no fear. They don't fear the Most High.
No, they don't. And they haven't built upon that solid foundation. Once you set yourself on a solid foundation with the Bible and the scriptures, nothing else can shake you. Okay? Nothing else should shake you. It should be commonplace for you to go, that doctrine sounds off because again, we just went over two really easy examples.
And that's why it's imperative to understand the laws.
Yes.
Because once you know the law, which is the foundation, it's very hard to be shaken.
Get Psalms 111 and 10. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. Once you start keeping the commandments, things start making too much sense to you. Like, oh, that's why that happens. Get that in Psalms 111 and 10.
But you can know the commandments and still not. It's like the book.
You can know the commandments and what?
Right. You can know the commandments, still not do.
See, there's a difference.
That came with
That's
the
even
commandments.
worse.
He knew what the commandments were, but he still brought his wife, knowing she was unclean, to let the kids come inside the school.
Read
So
that.
I think it has to do with fear. You have to have that fear Because if you fear Esau, you're not gonna take a red light because out of fear of what he might do to you. You don't have that same kind of fear for the Heavenly Father. You're not gonna do his commandments.
That's true. Read that, Caleb. 111.
This is the book of Psalms 111 and verse 10. The fear of the other one is the beginning of wisdom.
What did you just say? Yahweh? You don't fear him. They don't fear. They don't respect him. Right? Like we say, we respect Esau's laws left and right, but we don't respect the Most High's laws. Go ahead.
A good understanding of all they that do his commandments.
That do his commandments, right? It says that do his commandments.
Because they fear.
If you keep the Most High's commandments and actually do them, things start making sense. And then you realize when all these doctrines pop up, you go, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
It don't
Because
sound good.
It don't even sound good.
Mhm.
It starts getting in your ears. And you're just like, that's where critical thinking comes in. I'm gonna keep harping on that lunar Sabbath day because that doctrine pisses me off. It really does.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, of course.
Can you explain the Sabbath was made for man, but not man for the Sabbath?
So the reason why Yahweh Shai said that, right? Remember, they were in the cornfields picking corn. So if the Pharisees said, what are they doing? Why are they picking corn on the Sabbath day? And he said, look, the Sabbath was made for us, not for us to be a slave to it. You know what I mean? Like the Sabbath was
Made for rest.
and for our relaxation. It's
Mhm.
not made for us to be a slave to it
If
also. They were hungry. They deserve to eat. Do they not deserve to eat? Right? Now, remember, they were in a cornfield and they were hungry. So they have to go all the way back to wherever they were living just to get a bite to eat? Or can we eat some corn right here?
Right.
But remember when the Most High caused manna to fall, and you told us not to go out on the seventh day, but to stay in and rest.
Mm.
And there were people who went out on the Sabbath day, the seventh day, to gather in manna.
Right. That's
That was being disobedient.
right. That was just straight up disobedience. Right. That was straight up disobedience. This is a different situation where they're actually out in the field doing ministry work and they were just hungry. You know, this is them being this is the Pharisees being over righteous by saying you can't do something as simple as pick up a piece of corn and eat just because I'm hungry.
That telematic is better than walk.
Right.
But what did Yahweh tell?
He said the Son of Man is also Lord on the Sabbath too. I told them they could eat.
He told them that if you have an ox,
That's what I was
That's-
going to bring out.
on the Sabbath, are you not gonna help it?
Right.
Are you going to let it die? In essence, are you going to let that animal die? That's your livestock. That's how you get
Or
meat.
your child.
Right.
Or
Your
if
child
the-
falls in the ditch.
But
But-
that's teaching that you're supposed to do good.
Right. It was just they were just hungry. It was not like they were working or plowing the fields.
And that's
It
doing
wasn't-
good
they
too.
weren't working.
They weren't working. Right. The Pharisees the Pharisees saw them and thought that they were actually like doing field work,
Right.
and they got over righteous. Said, "Oh, why are they picking corn and
On the Sabbath.
It's like, no, they're really just hungry and want to eat.
I'm glad the part that Yahweh Shai said, listen, I'm Lord of the Sabbath.
Right,
In
so
other
if-
words, I could tell you what to do on this day.
Exactly. I told them they can eat this.
Right.
They were hungry. They said, okay, well, eat the corn. There's cornfields right there. Go pick those corns.
Just like how it wasn't lawful for David to eat the showbread.
I was going to go there too.
On the
Mhm.
Sabbath.
Yeah. And that was mercy. That was an act of mercy.
Because
Remember,
he was
David-
hungry.
And David was on the run. He hadn't
Yeah.
eaten in 3 days. So the priest said, here, all I have is the showbread,
And that's grace.
grace and mercy.
Yeah.
So it's not like David wasn't in sin. The Most High applied grace to him because he knew that Saul wanted to kill him. So he was on the run. He hasn't eaten in 3 days. All that's available. And he ran to the house of God too. He ran to one of the synagogues.
That's sanctuary.
Exactly. That's where he's supposed to go. And the priest said, look, all I got is a showbread, young man. He said, okay, look, let me eat it. I'll eat it. I'm
Hunger
hungry.
speak.
Huh?
Hunger speak.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And then the one last thing, remember Yahushua healed a woman on the Sabbath day, and the priest of the synagogue was like, look, y'all got 6 days out the week. Why don't you come and get healed on them, not on the Sabbath day? And Yahushua said, well, what's wrong with healing her on the Sabbath day? There's nothing wrong with that. Y'all want to get it real fast?
Again, that's being over righteous.
Y'all looking at me like I'm crazy.
No, we know the scriptures.
Sharon. Right. In fact, let's just get it real fast. I think it's in Luke 13.
Righteous much. People get all over righteous, and they're even hurting themselves.
Call it.
And they're not really that righteous themselves. It's still a good game.
Okay.
The brothers were like, when the Greeks are coming against us, we can't fight.
13 and 10.
13 what and 10?
13 and 10. Luke.
You're gonna kill you putting up a pot of hot oil, and you're not gonna fight. You're gonna say, well, okay, just about.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 13 and verse 10. And he was teaching in one of the synagogue on the Sabbath.
So on the Sabbath, right? He was in one of the synagogues teaching as he was apt to do, right? Go ahead.
And behold, there was a woman which had the spirit of infirmity 18 years, and was bowed together, and could no wise lift up herself.
She basically had scoliosis. Her spine was so messed up that she couldn't even stand up straight. She practically had scoliosis. Okay, read on.
And when Yahushua saw her, he called her to him and said unto her, Woman, thou art loose from thine infirmity. And he laid his hand on her, and immediately she was made straight and glorified Yahweh.
Right. So he glorified the Most High. All he did was to put his hands on her, and she was able to stand up straight. He healed her spine. Right. Go ahead.
And the rulers of the synagogue answered with indignation, because Yahushua had healed her on the Sabbath day.
See, they was upset. It was like, why is he doing this on the Sabbath? Why? It's the Sabbath day. And listen to what he says. Go ahead.
And said unto the people, there are 6 days in which men ought to work. In them, therefore, come and be healed, and not on the Sabbath day.
Can you imagine if hospitals closed on Sabbath days, on a Saturday? You get shot in the leg. You can't go to the ER. They go, come back tomorrow. We closed. We ain't supposed to do no work. That's basically what this ruler is saying. This woman has been suffering from scoliosis for 18 years. Can't stand up straight. But a man comes and heals her on a Sabbath day, and you're upset. Never mind the fact that she's been dealing with this thing for 18 years. You're mad that she got healed on the Sabbath day. Think about that for a second, y'all. Think about that. Read on.
Verse 15. And the other one then answered him and said, Thou hypocrite.
You said, yeah, he called him a hypocrite. Right? Read on.
Do it not each one of you on the Sabbath day lose his ox or his ass from the stall and lead him away to water?
So do you not let your animals out and lead them to water on the Sabbath day? Lead him from his chambers, his whatchamacallits, right? Let him loose. Go ahead.
And ought not this woman, being a daughter of Abraham,
She's one of the chosen, right? Go ahead.
Whom Satan had bound.
Who Satan had control. He had his hand on her for all these years, right? Go ahead.
Lo, these 18 years be loose from the bond on the Sabbath day.
So Satan had a hold on her for 18 years, and you're upset because he finally let her go on the Sabbath day, but yet you let all your animals loose on the Sabbath day. So now you're upset. Make it make sense, right? Read on.
And when he had said these things, all his adversaries were ashamed. They were ashamed of themselves because they thought that way. It's like, Dad, this woman really has been messed up for 18 years. Now she's free. But you're upset because it happened on the Sabbath day. You see that, sis? How they were being over righteous. That's what that was about. And just like the rule of synagogues being over righteous, that's all. Okay.
The brother wanted to know He says there were churches that said you couldn't flush the toilet back in the day on, I guess, on the Sabbath. He said, can you address the false doctrine about women not having to cover their heads when not praying or prophesying?
That's a teaching that's been popping up too.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. Okay, so this is where Amalek's over righteousness comes in. They literally do nothing on the Sabbath day. Like they don't even use light bulbs, or they
press the button
on
into
an
the elevator.
Right.
You can't make this stuff up.
They got a special elevator in certain buildings that they use on the Sabbath day only. Right? That again, that's just them being over righteous. So if you have to use the toilet on the Sabbath day, you're not gonna flush it. That's disgusting.
Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, and
go.
matter of fact, Moses told you that when you do that, when you defecate, you should turn around and cover it up because the angels are walking among you.
There you go.
Yeah. So how is that possible? That's
come on.
do away with that.
Like who come up with that?
Well,
Who came up with that? That you can't flush the toilet on the Sabbath day?
No.
Flush toilets back in the day. I guess he meant on the Sabbath.
Man, my Uncle Mike.
Don't eat a cheeseburger.
Right. Because they're right. They said it because that you can't mix the milk and the meat.
Right. The milk and
Right.
And mix the milk and meat there for the angels.
Yeah,
Come on now.
It's heavy on the digestive system. The combination is stress. It creates stress in the body in terms of
That's not what that was for. They
Right.
read that law.
That you can't make that
see the
cow's milk, right.
Right.
They came up with that.
that's
Right.
why.
Cheese and meat.
That's
Right.
what she's saying is
cheese is like cheese is milk in a coagulated form.
Yeah,
But the wisdom of the Most High and our ancestors were teaching us if we intake that, it is stress on the body.
that is not what our law is for. That law is for you can't kill the little sheep when it's still nursing.
Right.
That's what that was for.
no. Since what you're saying is correct.
Yeah,
What-
but you can still cheese and meat.
Right. What you're saying is correct. That the
Well,
milk and the
yeah,
cheese.
But I'm telling you, it does happen in the body.
Right. That's
why some
sis.
people come with indigestion.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That is harmful for the body. But what they're saying is that you can't eat milk and cheese together because of what the law says. The law says that you can't eat a young calf or something like that, like veal. Right. An animal that's younger than a year old that's still nursing, because it's like representing killing the young. You know what I mean?
That's not no danger.
That's what I'm no, that's how they came up with that law.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why. That
They won't know about that.
huh?
No, they won't know about that. They have read that in the law.
Right.
They won't know the civil milk and meat together.
Right.
They read it in the law.
Right.
And they came up with that.
They came up with that. But what you're saying is correct, that it's harmful, that milk and cheese and meat together like that is harmful for the body. Absolutely. It's too much on the body. Absolutely. It takes the body forever to digest red meat. So add milk to that too, that's something that we're supposed to stay away from as we get older.
Yeah.
It's harmful for the body. But that doctrine they came up with on their own. That's something they misinterpreted from the law.
But they have that meat out
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, real fast. So to wrap this up, what's going to happen to these brothers? We'll see, right? Get me Matthew 13:24. This is what's going to happen to
there. Are you
them.
gonna be able to head children?
We'll have to discuss that another time because we got to wrap up because it's almost new moon time.
What do you want to know about that?
Or he wants to know that the doctrine about women not having to cover their heads when not praying or
When not
prophesying,
praying,
yeah, when not praying, like when they're out of school or they're outside in the world, they don't need their head to be covered.
I would have to,
It's only when you're praying and prophesying.
right. That's what I've been taught.
Well, I don't know, because it says that the angels, they're not just present.
Only when you're praying and prophesying.
Yeah, but the angels
woman.
are not just present while you're in the school. Well, when you're praying and prophesying,
Well,
you're
that's
present
what
all the time.
that's what the scriptures say. You're dealing when you praying to the Most High prophesying.
All right,
When you walking up the street.
we'll have to. I'm gonna be the wise person and say I'm not versed well enough in that area to give an answer. So I will have to dissect that and read that on and learn about that another time to give a proper answer. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say about that. But I can say that about this. What's gonna happen to these brothers that come up in this, that, and the third? All right, go ahead. Matthew 13 and 24.
Matthew chapter 13 and verse 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field.
Mm-hmm.
But while man slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat,
Right.
and went his way.
Right. So an enemy came and sowed tares among the wheats. Right. We'll understand who that is later. Go ahead.
But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field?
Mm-hmm.
From whence then hath it tares? He said unto them, an enemy hath done this.
Mm-hmm.
The servants said unto him, Will thou then that we go and gather them up?
Right. So the servants came to him and said, wait, where didn't you sow good seed? Where did all these tares come from? How does it that these things popped up like this? How did these new doctrines come up? If we establish doctrine through the Holy Spirit, where do these other doctrines come from? Right? All these other brothers and weird sisters come from, right? Come on.
But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them.
He said, no, we're not going to snuff them out now because we're going to snuff out the good ones too. All right, read on.
Let both grow together until harvest.
Right. So we have to bear with these new doctrines that come up, continue to teach against them while we all grow at the same time simultaneously. Until when? The harvest. Okay? Because in the end, that's when all these doctrines are going to go away. They will be put down, they will be silenced for the greater good. All right? Go ahead.
And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn.
So, all right, we see that he said, nope, at the end, at the harvest, we're going to say, gather them together. They're going to separate the wheat from the tares. They're going to burn the tares, but put the wheat in the barn. So now we're going to explain that. All right, jump down to verse 36.
Verse 36. Then Yahushua sent the multitude away and went into the house. And his disciples came unto him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field.
Right. So they asked him, as they were prone to do, can you explain to us what you meant by that, please? Go ahead.
He answered and said unto them, He that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man.
Right. So the sower is the Son of Man, which is him, right? Go ahead.
The field is the world.
Uh-huh.
The good seed are the children of the kingdom.
Uh-huh.
But the tares are the children of the wicked one.
So we all have to come together, right? We all have to grow up together. We all got sold together, but yet we all grew up a little differently, right? We all came into the truth a little differently. And those are the children of the kingdom. We all grew up through the children of the wicked one too. We grew up side by side together, right? These brothers that come up with these new doctrines, guess what? We all grow up side by side together. Khan? All right, read on.
The enemy that sowed them is the devil.
The devil. So you see where it came from. It's the devil. These new doctrines and these new philosophies come from the devil. All right, go ahead.
The harvest is the end of the world. And the reapers are the angels.
So that sounds pretty self-explanatory. Go ahead.
As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world.
There you go. So you see what's going to happen to all those tares. They're going to get burned in the fire. All right, read on.
The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of the kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity.
So heresy is an iniquity. Blasphemy is an iniquity. Okay? All these men, all these brothers and sisters who come up with these new doctrines, they're iniquitous and they are, offensive. Okay? And they're going to be burned with fire. There's no other way around it, unless they repent, of course. All right, read on.
And shall cast them into a furnace of fire.
Mm-hmm.
There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Crying and there's going to be a lot of that going on. All right, go ahead.
Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father.
Mm-hmm.
Who had ears to hear, let him hear.
There you go. So we're going to see what's going to happen to these doctrines. They're going to get smashed. They're going to be destroyed, and those who teach them and follow them are going to be thrown away in the furnace as tares. All right. I'm going to end my class there, and hopefully I don't fall victim to these new doctrines that be popping up in the world. All right. With that, I say shalom.
Shalom.